All right, everybody. welcome into the Central Committee stream with your host, Mike from PA, who forgot to do things. Shit. Let's see here. Give me a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. That's where we're at. Hi, everybody. Welcome on in. Wow. What can we even say? Yesterday was a day, and it's exactly what I feared was gonna happen. Also, Destiny was exposed as a sex criminal. You know, when you are I'm not trying to say that I am a perfect on my predictions, but yesterday Elon Musk did a Nazi salute. I've been a Musk hater for like ever. Now, Destiny was exposed as a sex criminal by multiple of his orbiters. This isn't just like something like, listen, I am biased. So I hate the guy because his politics are terrible. He's an evil piece of shit. He's a deadbeat dad. You know, he confessed to abusing his first wife. He confessed to, all sorts of really evil shit. And so I hated the guy from his viewpoints because it, to me, revealed a depraved soul. But now it's come out that he is shared porn of people without their consent with other people. And we're talking about a 35-year-old man taking videos of 19-year-old girls and 18-year-old girls, their first ever sexual encounter, videoing it, or second ever sexual encounter as a 30-some-year-old man, videotaping it, and then sharing it with other people and other teenagers to try to induce them to have sex. Now, a lot of people are going to look at this and call it drama. This is not drama. These are crimes. And if I think ignoring it or not taking it seriously and covering it is the same thing as covering it up. And I've noticed that this is not being talked about by other streamers, and I don't know why. It's very odd. These are credible accusations by people that are in his inner circle. It's not being covered by other streamers. Can you imagine if even 1% of this, I did it or Hassan did it? I mean, fuck, Miskiff was basically nearly canceled for not something he did, but that's something his friend did. And he and Maya, in an ill-fated attempt to help their friend, fucked up big time. That was covered by everybody. Where is the coverage on Dexterdo? Where is the coverage by XQC and Trainwrecks? Where is the coverage from all the drama channels? There's only what, 1 or 2 LSF threads. Now, admittedly, they're some of the biggest LSF threads I've ever seen, but there's only 1? There's more I mean, like, what? What's going on here? Is Richard Lewis intervening to cover up Destiny's crimes? The difference is you, Hassan, and Miz don't have a fan base that will try to murder the people that cover it, but that's not happening. Destiny's fan base is revolting. Because you have to remember, this is some of their favorite, quote, characters who are now turning around and accusing Destiny of these crimes. What the fuck is going on? I'm going to cover it, but I just want to point this out. Honestly, I don't understand how this is being buried. And these are not just like, these are crimes. Like taking pictures of people and sharing them without their consent. And then it was leaked by someone else. He's been doing this for years. Women who have accused him of abusive behavior: Blue T, Anna, Brittany, Lauren DeLunga, Lauren Southern, Cherry, Melina, Lav, Pixie, Merrick. The guy's a total sociopath. What's going on, man? Where's the coverage? The difference is that you and Hassan have standards you're being held to, not calls for. I don't give a shit about my community. I mean, DGG is doing better at cover. Well, I mean, not really. They're sweeping, but the viewers, the users are at least saying the things that are not bad. They're not attacking these women as far as I can see, because the accusations are completely verified and confirmed. It's not, there's no question of the correctness of it. What's going on? Why is this being covered up? This is a crime. I legitimately do not understand why other streamers are not covering this. And if you're afraid of DGG, you cowardly bitches, they're not going to go after you for this. And even if they did, who fucking cares? You're going to let people get away with crimes because somebody's going to tweet something mean about you on the internet? Grow a fucking spine. And by the way, if you're one of those people that are like, oh, I don't know if the victims want you to cover this, I have received word that the victims do want you to cover it. They do want you to talk about it, and they want your help because he's a multimillionaire and they're not. I think he's being sued by one of the women. Yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to cover that. Destiny's post, which is one of the most ill-advised, dumbass motherfucking things I've ever seen in my entire life. And it shows the grandiose narcissism. And he's a dumbass. Like, only the dumbest piece of shit would post like this. You're telling me he's liked enough to make millions? I mean, he's been a streamer. He was one of the first streamers, really, from the beginning. And, you know, you do something that, oh, Oxide gave me 50 subs. Thank you, sir. Hassan doing the G method of sitting back and watching your enemies trip over themselves. Well, at a certain point, you have to take advantage of the opportunity. This is basic human rights. This is basic shit. The women who was suing said leftists who talk about it without talking to her are bad, but she came out with a public statement. No, I think it was before the leaks like really went viral. I know Pixie personally. She's a genuinely sweet person, a complete victim of this situation. Glad the community is coming together and hopefully contribute to her legal. Yeah, we will. We're covering this and we're going to go. And why am I covering it? Because I don't see enough other people talking about it and it needs to be talked. And it's fucking gross. If I did this, or Hassan did this, or Mizkif did this, or XQC did this, or TradeRex did this, or anyone else who is a streamer that of any import, it would be all over the place. And there is a very clearly some level of a conspiracy to bury this shit. And these are crimes. Okay. I think it was unfortunate that the story came out the same day as the inauguration, which is like one of the most important political news stories in the entire fucking world. So I understand that, people want to talk about Trump coming into office, but this shit needs to be talked about. So I don't know if I want to do that right now because it's a little bit early in the morning for this kind of drama, quote drama. It's not drama, it's a crime. So I think we're going to do our regular news coverage and we're going to build up to this. But I just want to say this straight off the bat, that if you see a streamer talking about some other dumb bullshit and they haven't talked about this, I have serious questions for them. Are people, where's Hutch? Why isn't Hutch talking about this? Are people not talking about it because she specifically didn't talk about it without contacting me? I mean, I have gotten the go ahead. I know that a lot of other people, I know a lot of other people. I think basically, here's the reality. Like, I think she should publish. Also, if you're a leftist who is talking about the situation without contacting me, you owe me an apology on top of being a victim of revenge porn. I have to deal with people lying about my daily life and further dehumanization of me. I don't think she's talking about me, guys. She's talking about the people that have, like, said she's a slut or whatever. You know what I mean?
LDR, the claim is that he sent nudes to X random person without her acknowledge. X then got hacked. A hacker leaks it. Oh. Yeah, I wonder how that works. That's kind of shit behavior, though. That's absolutely cooked. If allegedly true that you send to somebody pictures of somebody else, that's absolutely boiled. Yeah, that's not okay. That's disgusting. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse. I'm sorry, there's no excuse. If you get hacked, it's
Hascord mods remove any links that talk about this. I thought that was really lame for a leftist Discord to do. You know, I'm not a Hascord modder, Hascord mod. I think they're literally traumatized by, I think they have some idea that anything discussing Destiny is, quote, drama for some reason. Hutch, Pisco, Pondering Politics, and Econ Boy all made a statement on stream. I'll get the clip. I think the other thing is, this is also this strikes me as a strategy of surrender, chat. By surrendering completely on the issue, they're making it less interesting. By not trying to push back, they're making it less interesting. J. Marianne says, my advice is to stay out of Hascord. That's really depressing, man. That's actually really sad. I used to like Hascord. What happened to it? Like, it actually, like, people used to say that Hascord was, like, really annoying and radlib, and I don't find it to be like that. But lately, I've seen it kind of becoming toxic and weird and, like, lib as fuck. But but also toxic. It's not toxic. I've seen a lot of toxic shit there. What's going on, man? It sounds like they don't want to deal with the toxicity of D. That's pathetic. I mean, okay, it's not my job to make the rules for Hoscord. I'm just surprised that you wouldn't want to cover one of the biggest members of the streaming space being accused of crimes. Yeah, Tiny v Tiny, if you want to send me that. You can send me in the other platform, cut through. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to talk about this more, but I think in the future, maybe later this week, I'll see if Pixie wants to come on and talk about it. And it's very clearly illegal. I want to clear this up because there's a lot of amateur lawyers out there. Mike Hutch is too busy defending Nazis. Nervously walks up to the mic. God, this is such a, can we just stop for a second? Shut the fuck up. Stop writing like you're writing one of your furry fanfic pornos, you loser. Like, what are you doing? You goddamn, you fucking suck. Shut your fucking mouth. You fucking blow. All right, let's see what his arguments are. I think it's correct that Elon is a strange guy who hulked out in a strange moment, but he very probably did not intentionally do a Nazi salute. Runs away. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call a cuck. This is a liberal cuck in a nutshell. Hey, can you imagine if Bernie Sanders went up there and was like doing Nazi salutes and then said, let's criticize Israel? Did you guys hear what Elon was saying in the moment he did the Nazi salute? He was literally giving far-right talking points in the middle of the Nazi salute, you dumbass. And I did see this, chat. I did see this. And I posted a reply. Where the fuck did I put it? Oh yeah. Fuck. Did I scroll past it? I was balding yesterday. I might have passed it. Hold on. Let me go to my media tab. Oh, here it is. I said, has this loser ever had a good take? Just one. What would the ADL's response have been if it had been a student at Kafia doing that gesture? Well, wearing Kafia is racist in and of itself, or anti-Semitic in and of itself. All right, so here's what I would say. We're going to talk more about Destiny being a sex criminal later. I mean, like, we have to talk about it, and we've got to push for I mean, this is just, the idea that it's not a crime is insane. Okay, let's talk about the sexual cyber harassment lawsuit statute in Florida. All right. Okay, this is a random lawyer's. I thought it was I want the statute. Okay, thank you. This, just so everybody's very clear, this is a crime. This is not civil code. This is criminal code. Why is it that with any other big streamer this would have blown up by now? Are people afraid of his deranged community or just cowards? I don't know what's going on, man. I mean, I consider Destiny, and I've called him this before, the Harvey Weinstein of Twitch. And basically what he does is he hunts down and he tries to find young women in his community that have various mental illnesses so that he could sexually exploit them and then dump them, basically. And he's made it almost a game for his community to help them find vulnerable young women. And when I say young women, I mean like 18 years old. He isn't even that big of a streamer. Bro gets like 7K viewers, LMFAO. The thing about Destiny is he may not get that many viewers, but he has created a cult of about 1,000 to 1,500 people that are completely committed to the organization of his stream. Like they're there 24/7. All right. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. Like he has a super hardcore fan base of like 500 to 1,000 people that are always there. So he doesn't have like a very big community, but he has a very intense, psychotic, cult-like hardcore. And if you have like 500 to 1,000 people that are willing to like do what you say, you have an extremely effective group. That's just the reality. You know, like having 501 ride or dies is extremely powerful. And he exploits that. And they also do things to raise the size or the impact by botting, scripting, writing programs, you know, spamming, that kind of thing. Like they use all of the tactics to increase the size. Like if you have 10 people spamming versus you have 100 people running a spam bot, well, now you're talking about some serious output. I think the reason no one is talking about it is because this community is so insulated unless they are on full offense in war mode and no one is aware and are turning on him. The problem that we have is that the people that don't like Destiny are good people, and they just don't do this kind of shit. They just don't go on the offense. They don't try to discredit people. They don't try to, you know, ruin people's lives. They're just not built for it, which is, so he'll make a mountain out of a molehill, but a mountain will be made into a molehill because, you know, in order for this to really, really ramp up, we need people to actually step up and say that he's persona non grata, that you'll never work with him again. You have to like actually step up and do the shit and discredit him, but they're not doing it. Did you see that he did an interview with Healthy Gamer GG? I mean, that guy, I mean, there is a old saying that I think you've all heard, and it's birds of a feather flock together. And that saying is very, 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 very. The first time his nudes were leaked 10 years ago, they started a hashtag dick out for Destiny and posted their own dicks in solidarity. They are dedicated. Isn't that when he would, isn't that the first time he was caught, you know, sending revenge porn of Blue Tea or whatever her name was? Like, isn't that the first time he did this? Like, did he, like, his nudes got leaked because he leaked somebody else's nudes? Like, that was the first time he did revenge porn. That was 10 years ago, right? And so birds of a feather is an old saying. Basically what it means is you could, if you look at someone and you're like, that person seems like a nice person, but all their friends are evil pieces of shit, they're an evil piece of shit. All right? Like, they're just better at hiding it. So, you know, it's, if you see somebody who likes Destiny, they're an evil piece of shit. And there's no exceptions to that. If you're sitting at a table with 9 Nazis, there's 10 Nazis at the, yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Florida statute title, what is this, like 46? Something like that. All right. A legislature finds that a person depicted in a sexually explicit image taken with the person's consent has reasonable expectation that the image will remain private. It has become a common practice for persons to publish a sexually explicit image of another to internet website without the depicted person's consent for no legitimate purpose, with the intent of causing substantial emotional distress to the depicted person. Okay, so let's see. When such images are published on internet websites, they are able to be viewed indefinitely by persons worldwide and are able to be easily reproduced and shared. The publication of such images on internet websites create a permanent record of the depicted person's private nudity or private sexually explicit conduct. The existence of such images on internet websites causes those depicted in such images significant psychological harm. So this is basically like a finding of fact. The legislature was saying, hey, it feels really bad to have your revenge porn linked. And this is very important. A person who willfully and maliciously sexually cyber harasses another person commits a misdemeanor of the first degree. A person who has one prior conviction for sexual cyber harassment and commits a second or subsequent sexual cyber harassment commits a felony of the third degree. A law enforcement officer may arrest without a warrant any person that he or she has probable cause to believe has violated this section. So basically what we're saying here, based on the number of people that are coming forward, we have at least 3 that these are now felonies. So these are felonies. And let's look at the elements of the crime. Image includes, but is not limited to, any photograph, picture, motion picture, film, video, or representation. So he's been doing this forever, right? He's been doing this forever. And these are all, you know, all of the above. Personal identification information has the same meaning as provided in this. So personal, oh God, it's not letting me go directly to it. Sexually cyber harass means to publish a sexually explicit image of a person that it contains or conveys the personal identification information of the depicted person to an internet website without the depicted person's consent. That happened. He published videos and photos of women that he had had sex with without their consent to Discord messages, which is an internet website, and sent them to a third party for no legitimate purpose. There was no legitimate purpose. The purpose he was trying to do was to entice or sexually seduce another teenager. That's not a legitimate reason to share somebody's nudes, with the intent of causing substantial emotional distress to the depicted person. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where a lot of people get tripped up. They're like, oh, he wasn't intending to harm them. He wasn't intending to make them feel bad. He was intending to seduce the other teenager. Therefore, he didn't sexually cyber harass them. No, he didn't do revenge porn. Actually, idiot, he did. In this specific sub element, and this is where not being a lawyer will fuck you up, the malice comes in here because he intended to do the act for a non-permitted purpose. That's what it becomes emotional distress. And there is a recklessness, a reasonable person. That's what the intent means. Would a reasonable person feel that if I did this, I would cause substantial emotional distress to the person? And the answer is, I'll ask you this question, and this is how you figure this out for legal purposes. How would you feel if somebody took private sexual images of you and shared them with a third party that you didn't consent to in order to try to get them to fuck them as proof of their sexual prowess? How would you feel? Would you feel emotional distress over that? I believe a reasonable person would feel that the violation of their privacy would be immense. So that's where the crime occurred. It isn't that it has to be published completely broadly to the entire fucking world. It is, he sent it on the computer to a third party with no legitimate person, and a reasonable person would be emotionally distressed. He is guilty of this crime. He gave it to the models. She is the public. It doesn't matter that she's only one person. Why did you ban the person? They were literally right. Yeah, I think you misread them. They were right. Question the narrative was literally right. That's where he committed the crime. Typically, that includes name, phone, email, etc. If the face is obscured, how does that count? The face wasn't obscured, and the name was included. An aggrieved person may initiate a civil action against a person that violates this section to obtain all appropriate relief in order to prevent or remedy a violation of this section, including the following: injunctive relief, monetary damages to include $5,000 or actual damages incurred as a result of the violation of this section, whichever is greater, reasonable attorney fees and costs. A violation of this section is committed within the state if any conduct that is an element of the offense or any harm of the depicted person resulting from the offense occurs within this state. But why does it even matter if you share someone's nudes without PII? Why is that not illegal? Of course it's illegal. I already explained it. So right off the bat, and you know, sometimes people say, oh, you have to do it maliciously. He wasn't doing it. Here's what malice means. Let's go here. Malice in the law dictionary right here. Malice, this is a law dictionary. Malice, in its common acceptation, means ill will towards some person. In the legal sense, it applies to a wrongful act done intentionally without legal justification or excuse. The wrongful act that Destiny did was publishing Pixies and other people's nudes and their pornographic material created without consent to Discord to a third party. He did that intentionally, and he did not have a legal justification or excuse. He did it with malice. He's guilty of a crime. Each time he did it, that was a crime. Since posting this, I've received countless messages of women informing me they have received pornographic content from Destiny. Content they now believe wasn't made or sent with consent. If you've been sent this content or might be a victim, DM me. We're stronger together. I mean, there you have it right there, chat. This was posted as we were talking about this. Like, he's legitimately a criminal. And I think that Pixie should file a police report. What would be a legal or just excuse for revenge porn? The answer would be like if you sent it to a doctor who had confidentiality because there was some, you know, something in the picture that was, you know, for a medical purpose, right? Like, oh, I think I'm dying of cancer and here's the video of my penis bending a weird way. You know, you might not be in charge with revenge porn if you send it to a medical professional for a medical diagnosis reason. I'm just inventing a hypothetical to come up with a situation where you might be able to say it was a legitimate purpose. You see what I mean? Like, there are specifically ways that you could claim that it wasn't, that it was legitimate. Is anyone pressing charges? From what I understand, there's a high likelihood that somebody's going to press charges. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know for sure. I haven't confirmed that with any victim, but I've heard that other people think that may be a possibility. And I believe that this, like, here's the main problem with this, is it's very hard to get prosecutors to actually charge people with crimes. This is a fact. So this is a fact. So the primary, you have to think of prosecutors not as mechanistic members of like the legal system that just kind of do things because they're supposed to in the law. You need to think of prosecutors as politicians who want attention. All right. And so when prosecutors want attention and there's a crime like this, if there's a lot of coverage of it, and then there's people saying, why isn't Florida's, why isn't Florida's prosecutors looking into this crime? There's a crime. They filed police reports. Like, if the victims end up filing police reports, I think it's pretty early. Like, if they don't end up filing police reports, then, it'll be a little bit early to yell at the prosecutors. However, prosecutors don't need them to. This is another myth that people have. They think that the victim has to, quote, press charges. No, you don't. If a prosecutor becomes aware of a crime, even if the victim doesn't want you to prosecute, the prosecutor can prosecute, because when you violate the law, it isn't just a crime against the victim. It's a crime against society. So a prosecutor has the right to prosecute you for committing a crime, even if the victim doesn't want them to. Not saying that Pixie doesn't want this to be prosecuted. I'm just clearing up a common misconception. So I absolutely 100%, you need to start talking about this as a viewer of Twitch. This is crimes. You can't send revenge porn of other people to other teenagers in your community to try to fuck them. I was a teacher, and this situation is a mandatory report scenario, so we're told if someone somehow gets around, you have to provide the content to admin, which includes the resource officer on campus. But I think just telling the officer to investigate is good enough. You as a teacher don't need to get the content and said, yeah, that would be ridiculous. Pixie retweeted this. This is Destiny's. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's from the top. I've been talking about it, but I haven't actually read the accusations. I'll ask you, Gopnik, to cover it. Do you have any good source to get me into the details? Yeah, sure. We're gonna let me pull this up. This is a crime, guys. This is a fucking crime. Legitimately, this is a crime. I don't mean this. I know it's a fucking. Hey, we should all be talking about the inauguration or whatever. I should be talking about Trump's terrible executive orders. And don't worry, I will. If I get to it today, great. If I don't, great. But you can't turn away from this and ignore it. This is a space that you occupy. You come to Twitch streams. Okay, so here's the story from Pixie's Substack from the top. Trump coverage isn't going anywhere. Fight the good fight first. I mean, like, this is the thing. It would be misogynistic. It would be fucking disgusting of me to ignore this for a slightly higher amount of views. Like, legitimately. Like, oh man, I could have 5K views covering the inauguration, or I could have 3,500 views cleaning up this fucking website and cleaning up this space. I'm going to take the latter every single time and twice on Sunday. And I don't want you to be a fan of mine if you don't agree with that. Quite frankly, like, I don't want you to be a fan of mine if you disagree with that. Like, it is what it is, because this is why these people get away with it. Because there's an old boys network, and streamers abuse their groupies and they abuse their fans. And this is a cultural thing that men do, who get into positions of power where they exploit their position of power to get access to naive young women so they can, use them. And they cause serious psychological harm. And in this case, it's a fucking crime. I will be suing Stephen Kenneth Bonnell II. I will be suing Stephen Kenneth Bonnell II. On November 29th, I learned that the streamer Destiny had non-consensually shared pornographic content of me online. My dignity, peace of mind, and hopes for the future were stripped away in a mere matter of seconds following the betrayal of someone I previously trusted. I am at least the third person he has done this to. I hope to be the last. I will not be commenting on the experience of other women he has hurt, as it is not my place or story to tell. I will, however, share my story in hopes of preventing this from occurring again. I have known Destiny for about 5 to 6 years now, and often find myself in heavy disagreement with him. Despite this, I do my best to see the best sides of all people, try my hardest to spread positivity and create understanding where I can. It's corny, but I want to meet people where they are and focus on which ways we can build bridges together towards a better future for everyone. But people call this a fault of mine. They claim I am naive and should be more careful. Those people are right. See, this is what I'm talking about. Let's just pause for a second. This is what these scumbags do. They ruin, they scar people, and they make people afraid of giving others the benefit of the doubt. They destroy the evolution of trust. because the scumbag like Destiny needs to be dealt with criminally. I get exactly what you're doing and it's great. Who wants a platform with sex pests and predators on it? I don't. I mean, this is a never-ending battle. When I was 19, over 5 years ago, I was extremely sexually inexperienced and sheltered. Being severely terrified of leading someone on or SA, I thought I could trust Destiny, who I had multiple long conversations with regarding consent and boundaries. She doesn't realize that, okay, so this is another thing that Destiny does, is he tries to make himself the arbiter of consent. He does rape review on his stream. I don't know if anybody has clips of rape review, but does anybody have any clips of Destiny doing, quote, rape? By the way, Destiny is banning any orbiter. He's sweeping. He's trying to ban anybody who talks about this in his community. This guy is a sex predator. And these were some of his biggest orbiters. They were just attacking me the other day. And they're now permabanned. I told you, dumb motherfuckers, exactly what would happen when you have a creep, when you have a predator. Look what happened. Destiny is banning orbiters who comment on his crimes. We need to absolutely 100%. We need to push for a criminal prosecution of this shit. These are crimes. Can you imagine my surprise when I discovered he distributed pornographic content of me without my consent? This, to me, is unbelievable. This, to me, is unbelievable. You know, I have problems with people that fuck their fans right off the bat. I think that's morally wrong. I think it's abusive. However, I can understand, you know, you meet someone who starts out as a fan of you and you have conversations and then you become friends and you become close and you decide to, like, you enter a relationship. I don't think that's crime. I don't think that's wrong, and I don't think that's a crime. But I think that if you, like, take advantage of the parasocial relationship to fuck your groupies and you lead them on, that is fucking morally wrong, and you're a bad person because you're taking advantage of them. You're tricking them. They think they know you and trust you based on your public face, but that's not really you. That is abuse, and it's wrong to just take advantage of your fans like that. I'm not saying that they don't have agency and that no adults can ever be held responsible for their actions, etc., etc. I absolutely do think that. But as a practice, kind of trying to chain fuck fans and chain fuck people that are in your community and treat them as disposable products to be used is morally repugnant. There's a whole playlist, the Detective Destiny arc rape review. Destiny investigates allegations. Look at this motherfucker. This motherfucker does rape review. All right, let's keep going. Yes, you read that right. Stephen Kenneth Bedell II sent pornographic content of me to a random 19-year-old e-girl Discord kitten whom he had never met before, and then she published it to the whole world. Rest assured, despite never having met her, he at least spoke to her plenty of times on the phone. Okay, this is the first link. Ugh, there should be no. I'm so sorry. There's literally no excuse. I've had phone convos and stuff with this person, and they were fairly close to me. It's worthless to say at this point, but I'm super sorry. There's literally no excuse. I won't say or confirm anything about them. If there's any particular action or thing I could do, just let me know. So Destiny messaged Pixie as, I guess, kind of damage control when her stuff was leaked. Guys, are you gonna be with me? Are you gonna help me fix this fucking shit? Are you guys gonna help me do this? Or are you gonna be fucking worthless? Are you gonna fight back? Are you gonna be cowardly? I want you to, I mean, listen, I'm not telling you to go into anybody's, here's what I want you to understand. I am not trying to send you guys out there to, like, force drama on other channels. If you do that, you're gonna get banned. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to tell other content creators what to do. I just know what I'm gonna do. Are you going to do the right thing, or are you going to go along to get along? The lady not so erudite is essentially his Ghislaine Maxwell too. She needs to be held accountable as well. I'm not as familiar with that side of it. Pixie is down to hop into a call. Okay. I kind of, here's my feeling on that. Pixie, if you're here, why don't we either do that tomorrow, or we talk about it a little bit more. And I would advise you not to jump on anyone's stream until you kind of, like, we make sure that I don't want to imperil your legal case. I don't want, like, anything you say to me publicly will be used against you. And it would be good for me, and I would have 15K viewers in here if I did it. But I want you to know that I care more about you than me getting 15,000 viewers one time. Okay? Like, if it were Destiny and the shoe was on the other foot, you would be on his stream immediately because he doesn't care about you. I'm not like that. I want you to win your case. And if your lawyer wants to give you the go-ahead and you could be sure that we're not going to imperil your case, then I'll do it. But I would appreciate it that you showed that you listened to me, really, because if nonetheless you would have come on after what I just said, then I'd be willing to do it. But I want your case to win. I don't want my viewers to go up for drama. Like, it's not worth it to me, because anything you say will be used to impeach you in a case. You understand that, right? Like, even if you are perfectly consistent, just phrasing things in slightly different ways will be used to try to create a problem with your credibility. And I guarantee you that you're being stalked by Destiny. You're being stalked by his financial partners. You are being monitored. And I'm not trying to create paranoia. I'm trying to create reasonable beliefs in your head. Now, here's what I want to say to DGG. Destiny is a bad guy. He has spent the better part of 6 years trying to assassinate my character and turn me into a lolcow for your enjoyment or whatever the fuck. You and I both know that every single thing he's ever said about me has been exaggerated and is not the case. I have done embarrassing things once or twice in 6 years. All right. And I've had people mistreat me on stream once or twice in 6 years. And guess what? He has decided to try to focus you on that information because he doesn't want you to hear the arguments that I make. He doesn't want to hear, doesn't want you to be able to listen to me with any modicum of respect. So if you're in DGG and you stumble in this stream and you think, oh, Mike Frappier, he's such a lolcow idiot, he's so disingenuous, blah, 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 blah. I want you to try to set that aside for one day. Are you capable of doing that? Are you capable of saying, this is a wake-up call, and I'm going to listen to those people that I've been trained to be treated as an enemy? All right, let's keep going. Here's my feeling on DGGers. DGGers, when they're fighting on Destiny's behalf, and they are going around and smearing his enemies and spamming Twitch with false accusations of anti-Semitism, those are when they're acting as enemies. This is a moment. I want to give you the opportunity to step away. I want to give you the opportunity to find. Lolcow is basically a person that is got some sort of mental disability or social deficit or autism, and they have some sort of like idiosyncratic behaviors or beliefs, or they look aesthetically unpleasing, and they're basically somebody that online community has found to kind of exploit as a bully victim, somebody who doesn't have the wherewithal to defend themselves online, and they have embarrassing stories and things like that. And so these online kind of bully communities will take lolcows and milk them for content. Basically, that's what the cow is. It's you kind of habitually abuse that person and bully that person for laughs. That's what a lolcow is. You milk laughs from them. And one of the tactics that Destiny has is he tries to make people that he's declared his ideological or other enemy as a quote lolcow for his community. So he tries to like create a dossier of embarrassing moments or, kind of like personal failures or whatever to kind of bully that person and kind of make them, feel bad because this embarrassing thing happened to you. You failed on this thing. You're a liar because of this. You're a loser because of this. So the person is constantly having, being surrounded with old accusations and old, situations. They can't ever progress and do what they're trying to do. He can dehumanize that person, right? This is what a sociopath does. It shouldn't surprise you that this is the same guy that's leaking porn from every woman who ever trusted him. Like that is legitimately what is going on here. So if you're a DGGer and you've engaged in that behavior, I'm willing to give you amnesty and let bygones be bygones. If you take this moment where Destiny's closest friends and supporters are denouncing him for the crimes he's committed, to leave. And I understand how hard it is to leave communities that you have built up. But guess what? It's just a computer, man. uninstall, unfollow, block, and find something else for you to do. Play Marvel Rivals. Do something. Destiny lied to me about me so badly, his chat called him out for it. Well, he just does that. All right, so let's get back to reading Pixie's thing. Yes, you read that right. Stephen Kenneth Bedell II set pornographic content of me. And I would also suggest, like, if you see another streamer covering this and they're trying to bring Pixie on, I think that is very foolish, and I would discourage that. Unless it was somebody like Hassan, because nobody else is going to respect her and protect her, even if it's like other leftists. Like, I think they absolutely should not bring her on until she files her case and her lawyer is fully, you know what I mean? Like, they've done because every public statement she makes is going to be used against her. There's a reason why Destiny's banning everybody who's talking about this. That's why Destiny is making this an illegal content, something to discuss in his stream. That's the reason why he's sweeping, because the less people talking about it, the less time he has to address it, the less statements he's going to make that are incriminating. What would be the most productive way to make a difference? We'll get to that in a minute. All right. Stephen Kenneth Bedell II sent pornographic content of me to a random 19-year-old e-girl Discord kitten whom he had never met before, and then she published it to the whole world. Rest assured, despite never having met her, he at least spoke to her plenty of times on the phone. Of course, that is what he says happened. I think it is just as likely that he used her as a proxy to widely distribute this material while claiming deniability. I do not understand why Destiny would knowingly and willingly put me in a position where I would receive non-stop sexual abuse and harassment. If we believe him, he was trying to impress a barely legal teenager using my body and my privacy. The betrayal, coupled with hundreds of messages I've received with sexual harassment and abuse, have left me feeling hopeless and devoid of almost all happiness. Wow, that's really sad. Some streamers are also covering it in the form of a quick clip. Any other big streamer, this would be covered for days, like Dr. Disrespect stuff. This also needs to be called out 100%. A quick clip? They need to do the deep dives that they did for Miskiff. They need to do the deep dives they were doing. Where's the big panel shows? What's going on? The only thing that has kept me going is the hope that I can bring this man to justice and have him face legal consequences for his action. I would love for Hassan to cover this, just so she could help raise money for an attorney. I'm not saying that he needs to go and spend hours upon hours, but I think that he should cover it so she could have expenses. She could raise money to cover the attorney. Because $10, $20, $30,000 is a very lot of amount of money for an individual person, but it would be absolutely trivial for Hassan's community to raise that money. And it's obviously up to him, but like, Destiny is a criminal and he's gonna get away with it unless we do something about it. Unless we stand up and say, this is a fucking crime and this guy needs to go. And why is YouTube allowing him to do this to kids? We need news stories covering this. We need this shit ready. They also smeared Miskiff. Miskiff wasn't the one going and touching somebody at a party. Maya Higa wasn't a person touching somebody at a party. They stupidly tried to help a friend and bungled the job, and they apologized and they fucked up, and it was bad to do it like that, and I think they learned their lesson. But this is Destiny's actual actions, and that was a story for on how many streams? It was high drama. What's going on? XQC if Hassan did this, 6 months of coverage. XQC when Destiny did this. Wow, dude, that's fucked up, dude. Anyway, back to gambling. I get it, but it shouldn't be a Hassan versus Destiny thing. Using Hassan's platform could be helpful, but the focus shouldn't be on them too. I 100% agree. However, the biggest way that Destiny gets away with it is if nobody knows about it and it gets old and stale and it goes away, and the victims don't have the resources to fight. That's how they bury this. It has to be talked about. That's going to raise the brothel drama back up, but I hear you. You don't think they try to raise that up anyway every other day? You think that they're not going to try to use that forever and ever? By the way, do you think what is more likely to have that drama go away for a while? Destroying Destiny or letting him survive and come back like a cockroach? DGG has successfully harassed, degraded, and ruined people for a decade. I want you to understand something. Look at how much coverage there was of Pirate Software leaving a dungeon, a gameplay mistake, and for being kind of an arrogant guy. How many threads for a gameplay mistake on World of Warcraft? Compare that to this guy has been sexually abusing literally, what, half a dozen women for over a decade? Committing crimes? You guys need, like, get your shit together. Cockroaches flee when you shine some light on them. I think we should shed some light. Absolutely. This is only something that some people care about that are chronically online. Nobody really cares about any of this. Everybody is chronically online. It's the year of our Lord 2025, dude. 98% of the people are on social media or online. Like, what are you even talking about? Like, well, this is 2025. This isn't 2008 anymore. All right? Like, people are looking at their screens for 8+ hours a day. And this isn't just something that's online. This isn't a gameplay mistake on World of Warcraft, you dumb piece of shit. These are crimes. The wicked flee when there is no one pursuing, but the righteous are as secure as a lion. That's true. Look at live stream fail top. Okay. Oh my God. Pirate Software leaves call. 13K upvotes. Pirate Software bullying a totally new player to the game. Pathetic, dude. 12K. I think we need to maybe push the idea that sexually exploiting women is a little bit more important than somebody making a mistake as a WoW mage. Spiritbox says, I think D will lose a lot of newer fans, but his older fans don't give a shit because they've also degenerate weirdos. He's done a lot of super fucked up stuff over the years, and those weirdos always stick around. Well, I don't know if he can make content from prison. This will never get on LSF. There's no point to push even anything there. Okay, Sadistic Dove. I think you might not be a good person, but you're dead wrong, dummy. Look at LSF right now. Streamer Pixie alleges Destiny non-consensually shared nudes of her and will be filing a civil suit. 11K upvotes. Streamer Cherry claims Destiny non-consensually recorded and shared intimate audio of her. No, I think actually people are interested in this. Stop covering for your worthless fucking streamers before they even show themselves to be shit. The thing that has kept me going is the hope that I can bring this man to justice and have him face legal consequences for his actions. For the past month, I have been speaking to lawyers about my situation and what to do, and have decided this is the best course of action. I will be suing him for violating U.S. Federal Code 15 U.S.C. Section 6851, civil action related to the disclosure of intimate images and for publication of private facts in Florida. I will be seeking emotional and punitive damages for his actions. She should also file a case for intentional infliction of emotional distress. I've been told a court case like this potentially could cost over tens of thousands of dollars. I'm terrified. I mean, this guy talks about potentially suing Hassan as if for fun, and Hassan actually has the resources to defend himself. I cannot imagine what he might try to do to me in the process. Sometimes I wonder if he does this as an intimidation tactic. I wonder if he is purposely trying to put fear into my heart when he casually talks about throwing money into a lawsuit with a multimillionaire who can fight back, as if it's a direct flaunt warning over his capacity of outspending me in whatever legal case I throw at him. At the request of my friends, I have been encouraged to link my Give, Send, Go regarding this case here in hopes that we could raise enough for me to legally succeed. GiveSendGo.com/sue Destiny. All right, so far she's raised $5,000. Here is the message. Any amount of money works. Personally, I can say this, and I can say this right now. This is why it needs to be covered by larger streamers. And if they think what he did is fucked up, and they think what he did is wrong, put your money where your mouth is. Take one of the spins you're doing on fucking a casino XQC and put it in this legal defense fund. If you think it's so fucked up, throw money in the coffer so she could sue the guy. Whoever the next Joe Rogan of the left is, it cannot be someone that crosses sexual boundaries, violates consent, and puts women's well-being and safety at risk. It cannot be someone who puts women in positions where they will be sexually abused and harassed. It concerns me that Destiny has been interviewing potential DNC chair candidates such as Marianne Williamson or Martin O'Malley, who have no idea of what he's done. As time passes and he tries to position himself to have interviews with increasingly powerful figures such as Zelensky, I can't be helped but be filled with fear that Destiny might continue to succeed despite facing no repercussions for his actions. If the Democratic Party wishes to succeed in the future, it cannot be a party that accepts the sexual exploitation of women. It cannot be a party that allows men like Destiny to break into the mainstream, for allowing him access to such spaces would be a direct endorsement of his behavior. I've been told that the payout might not be worth the harassment and attention I will receive. In an ideal world, I would do this privately. I've been told there is no realistic weight way, the court will grant me anonymity. This means my only option is public. I have been told by a variety of people to not go public. These people were protecting Destiny, by the way. This is the number one way that people rationalize pressuring women to stay quiet. They'll be like, listen, your case is really strong, but if you go public, a lot of people are going to see it, and a lot of people are going to harass you. And is it really worth it? In fact, I guarantee that's what all of Destiny's Orbiters did. I guarantee that's what they did. Worth pointing out, this fundraiser was created by a member of the Florida Bar, so this is 100% going to suing Destiny. Yeah, I feel pretty confident that this is real. I have been told by some people that Steven really does feel sorry, but I'm not so inclined to believe them, especially taking into consideration his actions regarding me. Regardless, what Destiny did is unacceptable, and I believe he will do this again unless he faces justice. Let me be clear. Destiny has violated federal law and his transitions against me. He has violated my consent. He is directly responsible for sexual abuse I have received. I am terrified. Evidence log. Okay, she's posted some receipts. So let's take a look at the receipts. Ugh. There shouldn't be no... I'm so sorry. There's literally zero excuse. Okay, we read that one already. It's more complicated than that. I feel there's no justice for what's been done. I feel like people for the rest of my life are going to try to send it to my family or workplace or wherever I go. I feel extremely violated with how so many people saw me non-consensually in a vulnerable position. I feel like people are always going to use this as proof that I slept my way into whatever achievement I garner. I feel like it's evidence that everything would be better with me gone. I think the number of people who know or even keep up with it enough to go after you on this is probably almost zero. I think people hate others involved, me, Lauren, Nick, LOL, way more. Is this a confirmation that he sucked, that Nick Fuentes is in it as well? Did Destiny just confirm that Nick is also in these videos? Is this a confirmation? This seems like a confirmation that Nick Fuentes was the other one, and it overshadows everything a lot more. As for any achievements or anything like that, the majority of the work and stuff you've done has been completely independent from me anyway. So the only people who would say anything like that are people who have said shit like that anyway and aren't worth the time. This feels super lame, and I don't want it all to imply that somehow just giving you money helps anything go away or fixes everything for you. But if you have any bills or owe money on anything, or have any financial stuff I could help with, I could at the very least chip in and help with any of that. So it's at least one less thing you have to worry about or stress over while you're worrying and getting through this. So ladies and gentlemen, this right here is called a poison pill. I hope Pixie didn't take any money from Destiny, because the moment that she takes a little bit of money, they'll be like, see, she just did this for money. She took Destiny money. Destiny abused her, yet she was willing to take his money, etc., etc., etc. This was a poison pill. This is the Substack, and here is the GoFundMe. All right, we throw some money in there for reals. Doesn't matter if it's for money or the suicide bait, because what he did was wrong, but regardless, yeah. Basically, in a nutshell, let's keep covering this. And I think some people are starting to cover this, so I want their videos to be seen, and I want this to get pushed in the algorithm.
Directly about the fact, so it's time to make a video directly about the fact that Destiny, real name Stephen Kenneth Bonnell III, is a sex criminal. This is something that is very well founded in the evidence. Destiny is a sex criminal, and his community and the people around him are protecting him. They are protecting him rather than actually talking about this. It's all being swept under the rug with the complicity of dozens upon dozens of people who have community overlap with him, / who are too cowardly to speak out against him for fear of him denouncing them or his community going after them. At most, what they have been doing is quietly ceasing to collaborate with him or ceasing to talk about him, while not actually addressing what he did. And what he did is Destiny shared pornographic video and photos that he had filmed of others with a 19-year-old woman from his audience without the consent of those involved. And that is specifically a crime where he lives in the state of Florida and undoubtedly in most states in the USA. So he is a sex criminal, undoubtedly. The issue is, in order for that to, go to like the criminal stage, one of the actual victims would have to report him to the police. I seriously doubt that any of them are willing to do that out of fear of harassment or consequences for themselves, or perhaps some of them are like so indoctrinated into his cult that they just don't want bad things to happen to him, regardless of the fact that it is true. So there is a video of Destiny's ex-wife outright stating that Destiny did not have her consent to share with this other person the porn that he had of her, okay? And obviously I'm not going to show you the fucking revenge porn, okay? I don't even know if revenge porn is the right word, because, usually revenge porn you filter because you want to hurt the person specifically. But honestly, Destiny, shared pornography without consent because he was trying to impress a 19-year-old with his supposed sexual prowess. It's still just as illegal. And I believe it does fall after laws that are known as revenge porn laws, but maybe it's not the...
It's so funny to watch Central seethe about women being abused. That's why Central is talking about this. Wait, what? Who said that? Okay, this guy's posted in my channel 999 times. Is this the guy? I'm talking about seething over Trump, LOL. You have posted 999 messages in my account, and since you started following me in October. Notice how I don't time right-wingers out. Look at how right-wingers can publish here without being timed out. It doesn't matter that he was also in the videos. It is consenting to the distribution. Is the law that everyone involved needs to consent to the distribution? Are you seriously asking this? Obviously the answer is yes, everybody has to consent. But are you I thought this kind of explains why you're a conservative, and I mean that with all respect. You're kind of dumb. Can you imagine you have sex with someone and they secretly film it and they go, I consent to this video going worldwide, and they publish you being nude, having sex? Do you think that just because they were in the video, therefore they can do whatever they want? Bro, you need to take a rest. I need to add another timeout. I need to time you out. What the fuck? We raised $1,000 for Pixie. Okay. But we're going to do a lot more than that. Okay, sorry.
Of dozens upon dozens of people who have community overlap with him, / who are too cowardly to speak out against him for fear of him denouncing them or his community going after them. At most, what they have been doing is quietly ceasing to collaborate with him or ceasing to talk about him, while not actually addressing what he did. And what he did is Destiny shared pornographic video and photos that he had filmed of others with a 19-year-old woman from his audience without the consent of those involved. And that is specifically a crime where he lives in the state of Florida and undoubtedly in most states in the USA. So he is a sex criminal, undoubtedly. The issue is, in order for that to, go to the criminal stage, one of the actual victims would have to report him to the police. I seriously doubt that any of them are willing to do that out of fear of harassment or consequences for themselves, or perhaps some of them are so indoctrinated into his cult that they just don't want bad things to happen to him, regardless of the fact that it is true. So there is a video of Destiny's ex-wife outright stating that Destiny did not have her consent to share with this other person the porn that he had of her, okay? And obviously I'm not going to show you the fucking revenge porn, okay? I don't even know if revenge porn is the right word, because, usually revenge porn you filter because you want to hurt the person specifically. But honestly, Destiny, shared pornography without consent because he was trying to impress a 19-year-old with his supposed sexual prowess. It's still just as illegal. And I believe it does fall after laws that are known as revenge porn laws, but maybe it's not the right word for it. Either way, it's a crime. Dissemination of unconsensual porn. Now, whether the actual filming was consensual or not, I don't know. But certainly the sharing of it, at least in this one case, was not. And if he was sharing porn of people non-consensually in this case, I don't think we have any real reason to believe that he wasn't doing it in the other cases as well. How could he possibly have had permission from what was it, a dozen different people to share pornographic images of them? So this is Destiny's ex-wife. If he was willing to share intimate images and stuff of his ex-wife without her permission, then imagine how much less respect he would have had for all the other people involved, for all the other victims. And yeah, I mean, even talking sexually to a 19-year-old fan is fucking weird in and of itself, even though it's not technically a crime. Sharing porn with them is weird in and of itself. Sharing non-consensually sharing porn from people you actually know, that is another level of depravity and is actually a crime. So let's watch this.
Well, something I can't, like, I'm not gonna go into detail or anything, but there's plenty of people that's wondering this, but I feel like this should be obvious. Nothing has happened with consent with anyone, not me and not anyone else. Like there's been no consent.
Okay, I actually forgot what she said in this. So she said there was no consent from her nor anyone else involved. Literally all of it was non-consensual. So straight up confirmed there. I guess it's not 100% confirmed because, you know, it's just her word. But at least in her case, we can definitely say that Destiny did not have consent, and that is already enough to consider him a sex criminal. But if it's true that in the other cases that there was also no consent, then that's even fucking worse. I feel like we all sort of got caught up in the ridiculousness of the Destiny Nick Fuentes part, that we sort of missed the forest for the trees here, what was actually going on, which was like actual just straight up sex crimes. These
are sex crimes. Like, I don't want anybody to be confused here. If you take a video of someone is having sex and then you share it non-consensually, that is a sex crime. And when you work into what he was doing with that share, like what was his intent? His intent was to show a 19-year-old how much sexual experience or sexual prowess he has. This is a grooming type behavior. Is it possible for Bungie or Activision to sue Destiny for having the game series franchise Destiny? No, I think he had that name before they created their game.
That his fans are too fucking cowardly to talk about. And like, for me to actually disseminate this to people, I'd have to make a video on my main channel, and I am certainly not going to make a fucking Destiny sex crime video on my main channel. Regardless of how serious it is, I'm not going to do it. Just don't want to.
So that's something that people seem to wonder about, and I feel like that's something that people should know, I guess. That's it.
So, I mean, that's really all that you need to see of this. It's confirmation right there that at least against his ex-wife, Destiny committed a serious sex crime of non-consensual sharing of pornographic images. So without any fucking doubt, Destiny shared sexual images of people without their consent, or at least one person that we know for sure without her consent. And more than likely, much more than likely, all of the others were without consent as well. Now, as to how this actually filtered out, I mean, I don't actually know. I would guess it was either the person who Destiny was talking to leaked it, or some other sort of funny business or something. But he has not denied the veracity of this stuff. If anything, he sort of embraced it. But he's tried to embrace it in the way of like, haha, yeah, I do suck off guys. See, I am bisexual, so what? It's sort of like the Kevin Spacey thing, where when Kevin Spacey got accused of sexual assault, instead of talking about the sexual assault, he was just like, I'm coming out as gay, and ignored the rest of it. I choose to live my life as a gay man. That was it. Destiny absolutely committed sex crimes. Well, this is clearly like serious fucking shit. Like sharing fucking porn of multiple people without their consent. Even Nick Fuentes is a fucking victim of Destiny at this point. And no one's talking about this. It's crazy. Like, I searched before this, and the only person who had talked about this was like, I don't even know, like the literal like goblin/man. Like, I don't even know how to tell you how he looks. Like Chud Logic, who was just like the biggest loser in the entire world. And that is like the one person who had made a video about this. Destiny's entire community, all of his orbiters are silent. All of his victims are silent. And I mean, I don't blame them. I would be too.
By the way, so this video this came out hours before all the people started to talk, you know, to come out. So Bad Podata was like one of the first people to make this video, which is why I'm showing it, because it needs to, quite frankly, it needs to grow. It needs to grow. And what I want you to do is I want you to take this title, and I'm going to put it in the chat, and I want you to go on your YouTube app, and I want you to search this up, and I want you to click it, and I want you to hit like, and I want you to subscribe to Bad Podata Live if you're not already subscribed. I want you to juice it in the algorithm. I'm not even going to give you the direct link because I want it to get boosted in the algorithm, and I need you to go ahead and do that. If the only thing you do today is to search this up and watch it through the algorithm, and if it says, what did you think of this video? Rate it 5 fucking stars. Okay? Like, this shit cannot be buried. And I know a lot of people don't like Destiny, and a lot of people don't want to get involved with DGG or whatever, but DGG is disarmed. DGG is consumed with debate bro of like, oh, I want to be consistent, and you know, they are weak for now. But eventually, Destiny is going to proceed with his cult-like behavior. He's going to purge the people that dissent. He's going to lock down the topic, and he's going to let it go stale. Unless we strike now while the iron is hot, unless this actually results in criminal charges and civil litigation actually being done, unless people who are tired of his abuse of the streaming community stand up and speak now, it's not going to happen. This is a video, chat. I just linked the title in the chat. Go search this.
Lonabox, whose current girlfriend apparently had her own images filtered out without her consent by Destiny as well. Rather than openly denouncing Destiny for that specifically, he chose instead to be a coward and just sort of imply that he had a falling out with Destiny and they don't work well together, rather than actually outright saying what happened for real, being open about it. It is pathetic, and this guy is being protected by a whole fucking network of pathetic cowards and losers after doing something that in any other, so that, you know, if this got out there for like anyone else, there would be such a massive fucking outcry that, you know, their presence would be untenable past that point. Their platform would basically be untenable. Like, I don't think, you know, they probably wouldn't get banned for it or anything unless they straight up got convicted of it. But, you know, people would just not want to watch their content anymore. It would hurt them hugely in that way. And that is why, like, you know, Destiny and his community and his orbiters are desperate to keep this under wraps. No one's fucking talking about it. Like, there's so many levels of depravity here. Like, the guy seeks out teenagers in his audience to try and like groom into like being with him sexually. He seeks them out. He just had saved, like, I don't know how much it was, but at least like what, like a dozen, maybe more, like images and videos of people, many of them who were fans who had done this to before. He had that saved and ready to like just send to this other fan he was doing it to now, which he also did without the consent of according to his ex-wife, any of the people involved. It's not okay to do this just because it's not with minors, you know? And I mean, I would understand, like, the people involved, like, if they had the courage to denounce Destiny, I'm talking about the victims directly, not like the orbiters and stuff. But if the victims actually denounced Destiny, their lives would probably be ruined. His fans would ruin their lives, his orbiters would ruin.
Honestly, here's the thing. I think this belief of the power of DGG is part of the reason why Destiny has gotten away with it. Because a lot of influencers, I want to be honest with you, they're not like me. I'm a politics person. When I got into politics at the age of 29 years old as a candidate, I received hundreds of thousands of dollars of private investigators, of lawyers, of personal attacks. You know, I got into politics right away, and because I was running for office, I got it both barrels in the face. And I kept going. All right. So I understand exactly. So for me, DGGers posting "you're cringe" is not going to affect me. But for a lot of content creators, the overwhelming cacophony of messages they get are positive and supportive. And the moment that it seems like those messages aren't all positive and supportive, the moment they start to get a lot of pushback, they crumble because they're just not built for it. And all I can say is I don't expect people to be built for it. But right now, the fear of DGG, it's not happening. It's not happening. And this will probably change in the future. But from what I've seen, do you think Ethan is going to make a content nuke about Destiny's crimes? I wonder. Why don't you go ask Ethan when he's going to make the video about Destiny's sex crimes, right? Is Ethan Klein going to make a content nuke about his best friend Destiny? Can you get rid of Horn Gold 55? We don't really care about their takes. Honestly, I thought I'd time them out, but you're right. They're annoying. They're not. They're worthless. Once, like, a lot of conservatives seem to think going like, "Oh, you're a bunch of crybabies or insulting you" is an argument, which is, you know, it is what it is. How did you develop such formidable cantankerosity? Well, first of all, it's in my blood. I am Scottish, and personality is both hereditary and raised. My grandfather was an anti-fascist Highland Scot who came to America at 14. But when World War II started, he went back just to fight the Nazis years before America entered World War II. So this is just the way I am. You know, our clan motto is neither spare nor despise. We're very good at the first one. We're pretty bad at the second one. Another way of saying that is be ice cold, or revenge is best served cold. That is our motto. So for us, fights and standing up to people is second nature. And it's always been the way I've proceeded in my entire life. It's not to say that I'm some super tough guy and I'm such a badass, but I'm not. I am a nerdy dude. I just have a little bit of that scrappy do in me. Not scrappy do. Yeah, hell yeah. My family's clan motto is never behind. Yeah.
In their lives, he would ruin their lives. So what can
With
they do, you know?
fortitude?
But the
Nice.
other people involved who like sort of indirectly or directly leech off Destiny's audience,
Your clan motto is for the king. That is the worst motto I've ever heard. Embarrassing.
they have no excuse aside from pathetic cowardice. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video on this because I missed the Forest for the Trees with the Nick Fuentes thing, which was very funny, but I didn't really consider everything else about the story, which I've only really been learning about lately. I only really looked into it after the Loner Box thing, like Loner Box hinting at his falling out with Destiny, which was apparently because Destiny had leaked, without his girlfriend's consent, sexual images of her, which is fucking insane. And listen, don't go looking for any of these fucking people. Do not go looking for any of these people. Don't talk to them about this. Don't, regardless of how shitty and dumb they are, maybe for associating with Destiny in the first place, they're still ultimately his victims. So have some fucking tact. The only one of them who's spoken out from what I know is his ex-wife. And if the others want to remain quiet on it, let them. Though I hope that, you know, they would have the strength to like come forward and talk about this more openly, at least with time maybe.
And like, honest to God, this is the reality that we face. The reality that we face is that these accusations are admitted by Destiny. This isn't a question of like, he said, she said. The accusations are admitted by Destiny that he sent the information to the third party without their consent. There's no question about it. He's guilty as sin. He's admitted. I mean, there's admitted statements. I mean, as far as proving this case, the case is closed. There's no question about it. So, okay, he's guilty of these things. What do we expect people to do? What I expect you to do is help her file for her case. We've raised $2,000 or something around that for that so far. He's raised $6,000 for a case. It's time for us to throw some money into the pot. Anonymous Giver said, I've been a big fan of Destiny since 2016. I was following down the all right path before I saw an episode of PKA and started watching his stuff. And he was a big part of the movie he left. I'll admit that it hurts to have to finally admit that he's a wretched person, but I'm a wretched person too. So if I stand by and watch stuff like this happen just because I was a fan. I think this is, honestly, I probably wouldn't like this person, but this is a sign of moral strength, that there is a human being in there. We all make mistakes. We all like people, or we all believe dumb things through the course of our life. I did. I have. I had different opinions 10 years ago than I do today. Why wouldn't a DAA jump all over this, open it shut with palace intrigue from the RT shit? Well, the one thing I want to know is like this guy is a violent, dangerous guy. It's not just the fact that like he's a sociopath and he's dangerous. A DA wouldn't touch this. You're dead wrong. You're dead wrong. DAs are politicians like anyone else. And the right DA can prosecute this. He has a habitual pattern. It's not just one case. If you have 5 or 6 women who all come forward, refresh 1,000 came in. There you go, chat. We've raised multiple thousands of dollars already to help her. This is what it's going to take. And I want you to know that I will make sure that your money and that the money that's donated is actually sent to a legal case. This is not going in. This is not a Keffel situation where the money is then going to be used on drugs, okay? Or on rent or furnishing apartments or whatever. This is a real legitimate case. And I'm going to make sure that it's used for legitimate legal fees or to pay for a vacation to Northern Ireland. Yeah, this is not a Keffel scam situation. Oh my God, there's a pray button. Yeah, give, shine, send. Oh God, don't even. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what Cherry says. Today I was made aware of an intimate audio recording taken of me without my consent. That was also shared without my consent. I'm upset right now, and I'm going to give myself time to process. So she's saying that she was secretly recorded, and it was shared. That's a double crime. The person who received the recording from Destiny was not aware I did not consent to the recording. They recognized me by my voice and messaged me today out of concern. I don't feel comfortable sharing more right now. We have got it. Okay, so here's my opinion on this. If these victims want to come forward and file a lawsuit, they have a very, very good case. Now, any lawsuit you file has a risk of not working. However, I think a lot of people are waiting for the formality of an actual criminal complaint and an actual lawsuit before they, you know, before it crosses over from like, oh, this person's got a twit longer against them to an actual legitimate formal process. And that's what I would encourage any victim to do, is that if somebody is committing crimes against you, you should protect your legal rights and civil torts, and you should do it. Destiny is the Bill Cosby of Twitch. He's the Harvey Weinstein of Twitch, literally, or of streaming, because he's banned on Twitch, and he's been banned for a long time. He legitimately has what amounts to a casting couch for streaming. All right, hold on. Let's see what some of Destiny's orbiters are saying. The amount of victims I hope see this and decide to come out and send this to court. Yeah, absolutely. We'll be there. Like, even if I am the only one, even if I'm the only person who pledges to support these victims, then so be it. I'll be the only one. I don't give a fuck if everyone else is ignoring this. I'm going to speak up. And this is what everybody who knows me knows about me. I do what's right. And for some people, that makes them uncomfortable, because they don't want you to always do what's right. They want you to be biased toward them. Here's the thing. I am loyal to my friends. Loyalty is an important value. But in this case, I'm not going to stay silent. Apparently, Destiny is going on to a content break till February 1st. Bro, hiding in the bunker. Yeah, see, Destiny is absolutely engaged in a strategy of banning, burying, and waiting for this to cool down. That is 100,000% what he's doing. So we have got to keep up the pressure. Let's see what Hutch says.
My heart breaks for her. Hutch, what about you?
Yeah, we spoke about it briefly before the stream, and I told you that Pixie is, like, if you met her in person, she's just such a sweet, pleasant person. I've never had a bad interaction with her. You made the point that even if she was a terrible person, it would be fucked up, and I agree. But it's just, it is that much kind of more difficult because she is so sweet. And so I think there's a lot that we don't know about what has transpired, and we'll learn more information as the facts emerge. But I think what we do know right now is that her privacy seems to have been violated in a way that she's going to have to deal with for the rest of her life. And the stress that she's going through right now, it could be transformative.
I will say this. Notice that he's not using the words Destiny violated her trust, right? Notice that he's just talking about Pixie and he's not connecting it with Destiny. This is a very aware PR strategy by Hutch. Did you work with Destiny to come up with this one, bro? Because say the words Destiny did this and he committed a violation against Pixie. Don't say Pixie is dealing with it. Say who did it.
For her forever. And so, like, I don't think we can really underplay the significance of that kind of violation. So I feel really bad for her. I'm gonna wait for more information, but I think she deserves some support.
Chat,
right
how
now.
big is the broom? Very big. They sweeping like crazy. I just saw a YouTube that Vanguard are premiering a video on this on a couple hours. Good. So my biggest fear was that this is going to be swept under the rug. And like, this isn't like somebody made me feel uncomfortable at a party, or somebody used a slur, or somebody made a bad joke, or somebody, you know, had a gambling stream, or somebody showed a little cleavage. This guy has a program of abusing women and recording them with and without their consent, and then sharing that with third parties without their consent, chain fucking very vulnerable fans, targeting mentally ill women for sexual exploitation. This isn't just like something that happened to Pixie. This is something that Destiny is doing.
So, yeah.
100%. Yeah. So that's that. That's all we're going to discuss about it on this stream.
That's it?
Little just complete sympathy for Pixie.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the... There we go.
Hey guys. Of course, the electric grid and utilities, they've learned their lesson from 2021, and we will not have weeks.
So these are mostly people who have built themselves up through interactions with Destiny. So these are kind of his most pro Destiny friends, and they may even be. I don't know if they're coordinating behind the scenes. It might be something that would be interesting to ask them if they're coordinating their arguments with Destiny. Is Hutch older than me? I think he is.
Without power this time around. We'll find out tomorrow, though.
Or if it's like prominent MAGA people fucking with.
This right now sounds like webcam.
Oh, I don't hear.
I mean, it's out there from.
It seems like the source is an advisor to RFK.
A non-political topic, but that we've all been.
Okay, well, I'm seeing multiple. They don't hear echoes, so I think we're good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Peace goes out.
Yeah,
Did
that's
Hutch
fine.
ever pay you? No. Donald Trump did not end up in prison, and Joe Biden didn't win re-election. These are the two bets that Hutch made with me. Hutch bet me that Donald Trump would go to prison and that Joe Biden would win re-election if he was the nominee, or if he ran, in 2024. Of course he doesn't pay me. Of course he's not saying anything about Destiny. He has absolutely no integrity. Of course. I mean, small things, frequent small betrayals. I mean, like, what is it? What it is. And the other thing is, like, for me, it's not the money, For me, it's not the money. It's the fact that Hutch was so confident that he was willing to say in front of people, I'll bet you $500 that Joe Biden wins again in 2024 if he runs. And I bet you $1,000 that Donald Trump goes to prison. Like, he was confident enough in his beliefs to say those things. Because I told him that's insane, and I gave arguments, and then he doubled down, and I said, okay, do you want to put money on it? And he said yes. It isn't so much that I care about that. It's more that he was so thoroughly wrong on this, and he doesn't have the integrity to admit it. That's fucked up. And now, when he's finally tested with something serious, he's sweeping.
Fine.
Just have it.
Who needs them?
We're just living
I did
learn.
link-
Not any better, right?
That sounds fine. I
No,
mean,
He
there's still
replied that you owed him $15K and banned me. Yeah. If you want to get banned, tell Hutch to pay up.
like some fuzz in the background, but like it's not overwhelming.
Tell him he owes you, and if he thinks that's messed up, the money should go. I mean, Hutch should pay $1,500 to Pixie's legal fees if he thinks it's so fucked up. If this was Hassan, it would be the biggest story of the space for a month, but because it's Destiny, it'll be swept under the rug. That's why I think Destiny, I mean, like, listen, I am not a person to dictate how anybody does anything. And, you know, I understand why Hassan doesn't want to cover this because there's a lot of important news happening. But here's the reality. If you don't talk about this, you know, he's gonna get away with it. And the moment he thinks he's got you, he's gonna go after you. This is self-preservation mode. It's just like, this guy is an evil piece of shit. If he gets away with this, he's gonna act with total impunity in the future.
For me, I can handle it.
Maybe just mute your mic when you're not talking, honestly.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will do.
Yeah.
Honestly, mute your mic when you go to talk. That would be better, I think.
That's what I was
As-
gonna say.
As a big
Yeah.
Merrick Garland fan, that's another thing we have to talk about. Obviously, the legacy of Pisco's favorite attorney general.
By the way, these liberals were completely wrong about Merrick Garland. I was completely right. I called him a chicken shit. I said he was never going to do anything. He was a really conservative guy. He was an institutionalist and would not be able. And ironically, institutionalists have created the return of Trump. They were wrong about literally everything. I know this isn't the point we're talking about right now, but it is important to understand that these guys, they're covering up Destiny's crimes so they can, quote, talk about politics. But when they talk about politics, they don't get it right.
Okay, so everybody good? We good to go?
Good to go.
Okay. So, folks, obviously, the biggest news of the day is we have a new president, unfortunately, the 47th president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. He's been inaugurated. He's already started signing executive orders. There are rumors going on about what we can expect in the next couple of days, including pardons for January 6th. He calls them hostages. We would call them criminal defendants. But we actually have to take a brief pause and start with something else, which is a non-political topic, but that we've all been asked about on various social media platforms involving one or more content creators that we all know. So earlier today, a content creator that most of us know, I know I've met her multiple times. I think Pisco has his what? Econoboy, your camera, bro.
Sorry, I had to blow my nose. I don't know if
Well,
you
you need to
wanted
do that. You need to unmute it and keep it like camera on when you do that. I'm just kidding. Pixie, content creator that we are all familiar with, made allegations about another content creator that we all know and have collaborated with, Destiny, that he shared non-consensual images, explicit images of her non-consensually. And there's litigation going on right now, so it's pretty complicated as far as that goes, but we've been asked to talk about it, so we're going to very quickly address it.
What, are you parties to the litigation? What makes it complicated? You guys talk about litigation all the time. What do you mean? Are you in it? What's the complications? I thought you guys were the experts. I thought you guys were intelligent. What's going on?
And then move on to what the topic of Live and Learn is.
Would it be a good idea for me to ask Hassan to cover it? I mean, I'll do what I mean, like, ultimately Hassan does what he does, and I respect his rules. I don't want you guys to go in there and say, Mike wants you to do X. Mike wants you to do Y. Don't put my name in your mouth when you're in other communities saying that I want them to do X, Y, Z. Okay? Don't do that. I will do that. All right? Don't you ever do that, or you'll get permit here. And Hassan is quadrillion% aware. I'm sure everybody's aware of this. This is not a secret. I believe that they should cover it. I mean, like, look at my experience. Am I getting fucking, oh man, there's so much pushback. Is there any successful pushback on me?
Politics, which is our milieu. So I don't know who wants to go first, but
I can take it away first.
Yeah, Pisco.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for introducing it. Obviously, I'm very good friends with Steven. I also met Pixie in Miami. I thought that it was, great conversations. I'm going to go get dinner. It sounds like there's been a lot of really bad damage that potentially has occurred, that these leaks and situations have been very, very impactful. The reason I'm being cagey is because I'm a lawyer. I know these people, and it is certainly not appropriate for me to talk about it given my position at the time. And just being 100% real with you guys, you're not going to bully me to give a more,
okay, whenever somebody says you're not going to do X, Y, and Z, they're showing you that they're vulnerable on it, and you should actually you should keep asking if Also, can you imagine being close friends with a fucking sex criminal? This is what everybody should be posting to every single one of these fuckers whenever they show their faces. This is what every single one of their chats should be like.
Hey, they got your mans. They got your mans on sex assault charges. Yeah, the nigga you be hanging with. The nigga you be hanging with. Oh, yeah, sex offender. And he was your mans. He was your boy. I heard you grew up with him. That's crazy, man. You ain't know what he was doing? You ain't feel bad at all? Like, no guilt, none of that shit. Hey, they got your mans.
They got your mans on sex. Every single one of them should have to face. Also, the cowardliness of this statement is unbelievable.
Subjective statement about my beliefs on this, and so definitely not going to get into the nitty-gritty specifics. I think it's a bad situation. It's unfortunate, but yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Hutch, Akana boy.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, do you want to go? Yeah. You want me to go?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess Hutch and I are a little bit, and Josiah as well, a little bit more detached from the situation than Pisco. I mean, look, I read as much as I could, similar to what Pisco said with some sort of vague amount of legal situations going on. I mean, I guess we'll probably get more information about this eventually to come to a more concrete opinion of it. But obviously, look, a total just complete sympathy for Pixie. Anybody who's ever known anybody who's been the victim of revenge porn.
By the way, if this was me or Hassan, do you think this is how they would answer? Ooh, guys, it's very complicated. There's legal stuff. I don't know. I'm not going. You better not bully me to talk about this. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Pisco Sweeper Supreme, correct.
Porn, however it originates, just however, porn of people gets leaked onto the internet. It's obviously a really terrible situation. And, I have no reason to doubt that she's gone through a lot of anguish with regards to this situation. And so tons of sympathy for her. With regards to Destiny specifically, I mean, look, insofar as, if he was sharing nudes of people without their consent, that's just obviously super fucked up. But we don't necessarily know all the details about it. And I don't want to have like an outsized, strong opinion on it without all the information. So unfortunately, this is just one of those things, like you have to wait like probably a year or more, depending on the pending legal stuff, to kind of see all the information. And so that's kind of my thoughts on it. You know, it happened today. There's just not a lot of information about it. Sympathy for Pixie. You know, obviously, if anybody shares anybody's news,
guys, is there enough information to go after Hassan on you know? Is there enough information to go after Hassan for apparently going to a professional brothel at 19 in Berlin where it's legal? Was there enough to call him like a sex predator and sex creep for doing something that was completely legal and consensual? But now suddenly you don't know, and it's going to take years. This is all you need to know. Like, this is what you need to know. Pisco, Econ Boy, they're okay with you sexually exploiting women as long as you offer them a modicum of clout. And by the way, do any of them make money like on this? Like, is content creation actually funding any of their lives? Like, they're selling out for nothing. That's what always blows my mind. People will sell out for literal crumbs. Literal crumbs. Like, I understand selling out for millions of dollars or hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, but none of them are making that kind of money from this. They're making like hundreds.
Consensually, that's really condemnable. And that's kind of how I feel about it overall. You know, that's all I really have to contribute.
I'll just say that again, my heart goes out to Pixie. I can't possibly imagine what this must feel like. My heart breaks for her. Sharing images, explicit images and videos of somebody non-consensually is super fucked up. And if that's what happened, that should be just openly condemned. That's so fucked up. I don't even know what else there is to say on this. Again, I know my understanding is there's litigation. I know one way, maybe both ways. I'm not sure about like the legal intricacies, but again, non-consensually sharing images of like explicit images and videos of people, super fucked up. My heart breaks for her. Hutch, what about you?
Yeah, we spoke about it briefly before the stream, and I told you that Pixie is like, if you met her in person, she's just such a sweet, pleasant person. I've never had a bad interaction with her.
Doesn't that make you guys bigger pieces of shit for not like having her back? Like, doesn't that make you guys even more evil? If she's such a good person and she's such a good-hearted, pure-hearted person, doesn't that make you a bigger piece of shit? Like, the fact that you are refusing to talk about it, you're refusing to say you're not going to disassociate yourself from Destiny. Like, you guys went on his podcasts, right? You've collaborated with him literally dozens of times. Does it not bother you?
The point that even if she was a terrible person, it would be fucked up, and I agree. But it's just it is that much kind of more difficult because she is so sweet. And so I think there's a lot that we don't know about what has transpired, and we'll learn more information as the facts emerge. But I think what we do know right now is that her privacy seems to have been violated in a way that she's gonna have to
By who? Probably on content break until February 1st. Destiny, stream through the pain. I've been streaming through it for like 2 months. I think I've psychologically pushed my limits here. I'm not sure if I'll come out as trans or get a dog. Still deciding between the two. What about the forbidden third option? Have you considered that? I know you have.
Deal with for
the
rest of her life. And the stress that she's going through right now, it could be
which is retiring from streaming forever.
For her forever.
That's what I meant by that.
Like, I don't think we can really underplay the significance of that kind of violation. So I feel really bad for her. I'm gonna wait for more information, but I think she deserves some support right now. So yeah.
All right, okay, to get some support. What's that mean? What's that mean? Why are these guys acting like politicians? Does anybody know what the views are on this shit? Can somebody show me what the live views are? Like, what is this stream called? 5,280 views. Like, what is this? As a former DGG, I'm so glad to support people who are reasonable liberals that understand that fight the good fight. You mean the people that are not going to say anything?
100%. Yeah. So that's that. That's all we're going to discuss about it on this stream. In the world of politics, a lot happened today. Again,
what is their Twitch channel? What is their Twitch channel? Like, what's the Twitch channel? Like, what are they selling their souls for? It was on Hutch. Was it on Hutch's channel? This is an hour and a half, so it seems like it was this Tuesday, January 21st Average viewers 329, peak viewers 495. You're selling your soul for a stream that if I had a stream this size, and I don't mean like if you're a smaller streamer than me, I don't mean this as an insult, but if I started streaming and I had peak viewership of 495 at the point in my career that I'm at now, that would put me in like existential panic. Like that would basically like if I basically had your best stream you've ever had, if I had that level of stream, I would be panicking. I would be considering myself an utter failure. It would be a catastrophe. Like I would be, I mean, like, and you're selling your soul for that. One follower. You're selling your soul for one follower? You're covering up sex crimes for one follower? One? Did you even make $20 on this stream? You're selling your soul for a $20 bill. That's incredible. Look at their faces glaring at chats. I mean, the guilt in every single one of their faces. They're all slightly looking a little pink too. Like the shame is like, there is a clear pattern, to be honest. Why did he do this? Even their own chatters are disgusted.
States became the 47th president of the United States.
And they're done. That was it. 5 minutes. Can you imagine if the same thing happened to me? Can you imagine if one person was saying, Mike shared non-consensual porn of me? They would be posting the porn in my replies nonstop. All right, let's cover Destiny's statement. All right, is everybody ready to cover Destiny's statement? Legal arc beginning in mysterious ways. Such wow. Okay, like, I'm trying not to get myself banned, but to use heckin' pupper Reddit shit when you're being accused of being a sex criminal is not funny. It's the most pathetic shit I've ever seen in my entire life. It's not even cringe. It's contemptible. It's like a sociopathic attempt to make light of it by doing a little bit of self-humiliation. Legal arc. If this title doesn't make you want to donate, like, let's get this up to 10K, chat. Like, let's get this up to 10K. Right now, she's at 75.78. Let's get this to 10K. At the end of me reading Destiny's fucking post, I want there to be 10K here. Sometime in November, extremely sensitive and personal material of mine was leaked. This affected not only me, but many people in my life. I want to be clear. The leak happened without my knowledge, consent, or authorization. I never had an intention for any of those images to be published. Okay, so right off the bat, this is wrong. And what I mean by that is, in the law, this is something that people do who are liars, and I'm going to teach you something you learn in law school. This is something I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn, so I'm going to help you guys, and I'm going to tell it to you for free. There is a difference between the commonly accepted connotation of a word and the legal denotation of a word. Like the word publish is commonly thought of to be, oh, I put it in public for wide distribution. But that's not what publish means in the law, okay? And here, let's get a legal dictionary, just so you understand what I'm saying. For example, let's look up a legal term. Publish. To make public to at least one other person by any means. Do you guys see that? This is the law.com legal dictionary. To make public to at least one other person by any means. Destiny already published it. When he sent it to the 19-year-old Discord kitten he was trying to fuck, under the law, he published it. All right? So I want you to know that Destiny is using legal terms and he's lying. All right? He's a fucking liar. And this propaganda statement, you need to be extremely skeptical, all right, of everything he's saying, because he's in legal jeopardy right now. All right? So, wrong. He did it. He did publish it. He sent it to a third party by Discord message. Legally, he published it. I haven't spoken out publicly regarding this situation for a few reasons. I am actively pursuing criminal and civil litigation on these matters against multiple parties. Speaking publicly about these materials brings more attention to them, which harms all the victims involved. I have been trying to move on from covering drama content as it has been increasingly negative impact on those in my life. And one person involved has expressed suicidal thoughts in relation to the matter, and I did not want to exacerbate the situation by talking about it publicly. That's weird. You suddenly started to talk about it when she said she was going to file suit against you. I guess you don't care about any of those factors anymore? None of these factors have changed. Because there are now multiple parties involved in litigation, it is unlikely I'll be able to answer any questions until pending litigation has been resolved. Now, by the way, chat, I want you to understand this. This is not a matter of he can't answer the questions, right? Like, he can answer the questions. There's no, like, writ. There's no gag order. There's no, like, law. What he means here is, I don't want to talk about it because if you learn more about it, I might get caught. I might get in trouble. So he's listening to his lawyer. Don't incriminate yourself. Keep quiet, right? So he's able to answer the questions, and you should keep asking. Anytime he pops his head up anywhere, you see a DNC chair talking to him, you should ask him about this. You see him going on any show, ask them about why they brought him on. Any situation he appears in public, ask him these questions because he can answer them anytime he wants. That said, though I am limited in what I can say, it is important that people know about my recent communications with and regarding Pixie, someone who I was friends with and collaborated with on many occasions. Since the leaks were first circulated, Pixie had stressed to me keeping the things out of the public eye was important to her. Leaking DMs. Now, obviously, I want you to put yourself in Pixie's shoes for a moment. Somebody that you had sex with recorded it and then started sending it to other people for the express purpose of trying to get them to fuck them, and then it gets leaked by that person. I think the very first reaction you're going to have is, how do I keep this quiet? I don't want anybody to see. Oh my God, I don't want my mom to see. Oh my God, I don't want strangers to see. I don't want my enemies to see. I don't want people to see me as just a sex object. I don't want them to see my most private, intimate moment. Your first reaction would be, can I delete this? Can I get it off the internet? Of course. So let's go ahead and look at what she said. One last question. You and Keeps are friends, right? Did you know this was pinned to Drama Alert? Absolutely not friends. I don't think he likes me at all. Rip, I was hoping there would be a way to get the post removed through their own volition, but I guess not, since anything other than that will just put more spotlight. You're obviously free to say do what you want, but I'm not going to talk about anything specifically. I will never confirm to deny any of these people in any of these videos or images or say any names or anything like that, of course. Except, I guess, now he is. Let me know when you figure this stuff out with the lawyer. I really, 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 really hope that other people cover this. I am just one guy. And the thing about me is I'm not connected to the streaming space. Like, I have made my own content strategy, which is like, I want to be one of the bigger political streamers on Twitch and keep my content about politics. And I'll talk to other content creators in this space, but I don't want to do the like Austin, Texas thing where like every part of my life is content. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not for me. And so I haven't invested in trying to make those connections, right? I only try to make connections with people that I appreciate and like for their content and who are politically aligned with me and who cover politics. Like, that's more of the type of people that I want to be with. I want to craft. I don't want to just become, I don't want to, maybe in the future things might change and that strategy might work for me, but right now it's never been successful. So I don't have the ability to get the same level of attention from the wider, just the generic streamer community. And there are pros and cons to that, right? I know the guy's a massive goober, but Nicholas or whatever his name has multiple images of Discord screenshots of Destiny talking to Pixie. Yeah, I don't like that Nick guy, but he's actually covering it. Okay. Let me know when you figure out the stuff with the lawyer. Also, if you have any discreet requests or specific things you need and want from me, let me know. You got severely fucked over this, though. Absolutely no fault of your own, okay? And yeah, working today to file stuff. Ninu reached out to law firms, and we're waiting for responses back for filing police reports to grab court orders and stuff. If you want, I can put you in direct contact with Ninu, and you can message her directly as well to check on this and verify this stuff. I don't want to have to testify or be named or anything. As far as people ask me, I'm going to say it's a lookalike, and I have remarkable differences in my breasts to prove it. I haven't confirmed, denied anything at all publicly, and I will never do so. Except now he is. By leaking this video. Do you see how dishonest Destiny is? Now that there is him getting consequences for his actions, now suddenly his word of I will never do so is completely thrown out. And now he's going to publish these fucking private DMs. And in them, he directly promises not to do it. I'll double check with you before anything ever gets mentioned in a police report, a court order, or anything. I don't foresee this being a thing, but just in case. Please don't tell anyone privately either if they ask if it's actually me or not. 100% no one has messaged me to confirm or deny anything like that, except when Aaron/Straighterade messaged me. Please don't tell anyone privately if they ask if it's actually me or not. Sounds good. Do you think you'll try to go criminally at the person or not? I assume you could subpoena Kiwi Farms for his account information, maybe even IP address, and go from there if you desire. Or do you feel like that would be too much attention drawn to it? I have absolutely no idea. Waiting for this law firm to confirm a call with me, I think. Also, like I said, I wouldn't do anything in terms of filing civil stuff or making criminal complaints without checking with you first. I guess Destiny, the law firm he was talking with, is now going to be used against Pixie. On December 11th, I received a message from a mutual acquaintance named Lauren Hayden, known online as Lauren Lugna, who has a legal background. Lauren has had negative sentiment toward me after I rejected her romantic advances earlier in the year. Tony K. Phillips says, holy shit, fuck D, just donated. Thank you. Where are we at right now with the donations? Okay, chat. Another 1,500 just dropped. Let's fucking go. Okay, we're getting there. When we started the stream, we were at 5K. So far, we've raised over $3,500 during the stream. I'm not taking credit for it all, but let's keep pushing. I understand that she organized a fundraiser to support Pixie's lawsuit against me, and I assume she's been counseling Pixie on how to proceed. Okay, so basically, do you notice that Destiny put in this attack against Lauren? He says, she hates me because I wouldn't fuck her. What is the relevance of this? Even if this is true. Like, let's assume for a second this is true, that Lauren doesn't like Destiny, and it's only because he wouldn't have sex with her. First of all, we've all seen you, bro. We know that's not the case. And second, okay, what's the relevance here? The relevance here is to basically implant in the reader's mind that this is some sort of witch hunt, as if the facts themselves aren't bad enough. That same day, I received a message from Pixie where she suggested she create a post about me that would go live after she committed suicide. Oh, okay. Let's go take a look at these messages. What you did was evil. I have never hated anyone so much. I guess this is an attempt for Destiny to convince his parasocial audience that hating him for leaking dozens of women's fucking pornography non-consensually, it's hating you is normal, man. I'm sorry, but accurate message. Pixie said, okay, so now Destiny, so Pixie sends a message to Steven, obviously telling him she's considering, she has suicidal ideations. Content warning for everybody. Notice that Destiny has, these are the most private messages that somebody could ever send another person, and he's using it against her because she trusted him. This is another betrayal, by the way. What a fucking scumbag. What a fucking scumbag. Let's read it. We wanted all of us to read it to judge him, so let's read it. Posted by Destiny. Hi, Steven. As my life on this earth comes to a close, I want to ask you to please be more careful with the people who place their trust in you in the future. Life is unfair, but you should do your best in preventing that, not contributing to it. Hold up there. What's up? I'm just tired of living anymore. It's a matter of time until my family discovers what happened. I feel like there's no way to obtain justice. I don't want to bring a case against you, but I think you'll continue to send nudes of people even without their consent. Bringing a case against you would mean going public, which is the equivalent of a death sentence for me either way. So I feel like the best thing to do for me is to kill myself and schedule a post just detailing my feelings on what happened to try to ensure a situation like this doesn't happen again. I'm not going to kill myself at this second. I'm trying to get some things in order before I end everything. But I don't see a future where I survive for much longer. It's better to end things sooner than later to stop the pain and then let it continue. 100% of this pain that she's feeling is Destiny's fault. Has Destiny expressed amusement and glee at the thought of somebody committing as a result of his actions? Can somebody send me some clips of Destiny talking about people committing suicide? You know these are crimes, right? More victims have stepped forward. They don't even know that he recorded them. Yeah, there's people that are saying he secretly recorded them having sex and then shared it, which is a double crime. Secretly recording someone is a separate crime than sharing revenge porn. Those are separate crimes. Like if you secretly record people having sex, that is a crime. I have no idea who this chode is, but I just donated. You are a king. You don't know who Destiny is. I wish I was you. I fucking wish I was you. Do you see how wholesome my community is, chat? Do you see how awesome my community is? They don't even know who Destiny is. Lucky. I feel like it's hard for me to give you advice since I've obviously implicated everything, but I would still say some of the following things. 1, things die out surprisingly fast. There might always be a couple random losers online, but people move on to the next thing. And outside of some losers on Kiwi farms and some irrelevant content, people will fade away in a year or two. Inevitably, stuff fades away. There are people who were big online a few years ago that people could barely even find traces of anymore. Stefan Molyneux is a good example. You still have every... So, by the way, chat, every time Destiny brings up ancient history from me or Hassan, he's trying to buck this trend. Like, isn't that crazy? You still have every legal option available to you. You can always pursue stuff, and there are special civil and criminal protections that even shield your name from being released. You can always do free consultations with litigation firms to check with stuff like that. For obvious reasons, you should take things I'm saying with a grain of salt and pursue and check out all these things on your own. You have accomplished and done a ton of things in the past couple of years. When I met you a few years ago, you were yo-yoing like crazy between ultra-suicidal ideation thoughts and being hung up on a weird guy and feeling aimless after getting your college degrees. But you've done a ton of work this year with PV, moved to and survived in Miami all on your own, branched out into new content areas, and made new friends across new communities. It would be super shitty to not follow through for a couple more years at least and see where you could continue to push things. He is absolutely the biggest scumbag. The only reason he's showing this is to make Pixie look crazy. Look, she wants to kill herself. And 2, look how nice I am with the advice I gave you. What an actual piece of shit. And a total, again, another breach of her trust. Did he, by the way, a numbered list? Did he use fucking, like, Chat GPT?
That guy fucked over.
He secretly records women in his apartment. It's a federal, sorry, not federal. It's a felony.
Yeah, because he's horny.
It's a felony. No, he's a piece of shit.
I mean, I was
a good friend to him for a long fucking time, and he screwed me over.
I never screwed her over on anything. And when she's just a good friend to me, like, she let me borrow her car when I was in California, which is nice, but also probably because she wanted to tag along, which is like a little bit of self-serving. She's a nice guy. It's so annoying. So one of the reasons.
So notice that like Destiny's, this is what he always does with people he has conflicts with. He immediately tries to make them into a category of person that his audience has been primed to hate. Cringe SJW, tanky, nice guy. Like, notice how he's not talking about like the accusations she made that he secretly records women in his apartment. That's a fucking crime. He ignores all that part. And he talks about how, oh, you know, we weren't that close. I just, you know, we just did a couple things. I rejected you, which is why you hate me. He's ignoring the whole part of the crime accusations. Okay, Diddy G.
Why simps are bad. We watched something, I've explained this 2 times. I don't care, I'm gonna say it again. One of the reasons why simps are really annoying is because when somebody is simping for you, they're not actually doing a nice thing for you. They're doing a thing with the expectation of getting something back, okay? So like if somebody wants to do a nice thing or whatever, that's fine. And Lauren is like, I think she has the capability to be a helpful person. Like I know there was at least one thing she helped me with. I think she drove my car to get like my tires replaced and like a thing because some shit exploded or whatever, which was genuinely nice. That sounds insignificant, but it's not. Anything that saves me time on stuff like that is incredibly thoughtful and helpful. That is really nice to me.
This dude needs a carer.
I think she's cooked a few meals here, which have been nice. Like she can do things. She's helpful, but it's annoying that she.
By the way, chat, I just want to say this. Like, again, what a fucking disgusting sub piece of shit. Like, notice how he talks with people based on a transactional things they do for him. There's no emotional basis for anything. It's not about like how he treated her and how they made each other feel. It's just like, she did this for me. It's not stuff he did for her, right? Just being around him is him doing something for you. You need to bring him treats and you need to do his errands for him. This is like, what does he think he is? Who does he think he is?
She is, it's annoying that apparently these are all being done with the expectation of like some huge relationship thing in exchange. And it's like, what the yeah, I don't know. That's so annoying. What are the recordings that she is talking about? I think that's the only thing here. The only recordings that she's talking about are fights that I had 2 fights with friend of the stream Farha that I've recorded because there's some wild shit going there. But that's it. There's just like audio fights. It's not even video. It's just audio fights. I'm not having secret recordings to be in my apartment, except for that.
So here's Destiny making a direct denial, and where the fuck is Cherry's point? Shit, I had it. Did I close it? Oh, here it is. Today I was made aware of an intimate audio recording taken of me without my consent and was also shared without my consent. So right there, Lauren says he records people secretly, and Cherry, one of his biggest simps as of like last week, saying that he did. Last week she was attacking me on the the Jew Stalker show, or whatever the fuck it's, the J Stock show. They were literally attacking me like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. They are the biggest simps for Destiny of all time, and they're making a direct accusation that that there was a secret recording from Destiny. Just so it's clear, a person who received the recording from Destiny was not aware I did not consent to the recording. This is an objective fact.
That one time I f***ed Lauren's mom, and I did record that, but she consented to that. Yeah. But anyway, Jesus. Stupid. Lauren claims Destiny records people in the bedroom.
Like indoor and outdoor. And it has the ADT. Yeah, and it has the ADT thing on there.
No, ADT is no audio.
What do you mean? Even the doorbell one's got audio. When people come up to your doorbell, they have audio. They have audio.
That's so different than inside an apartment, inside a bedroom.
But inside your private...
Is this the other person trying to defend recording people without their consent or knowledge inside the bedroom? Is this a Destiny Orbiter defending it? What is she talking about? No, you cannot record people inside their private bedroom. That's a crime. Because you have a legitimate expectation of privacy in private residences and businesses. If people record you, even if it's in a property that you own, if I'm in a private residence, I expect it to be a private conversation. That is a fucking crime for you to secretly record me. What is this person talking about?
Jesus fucking Christ. Who's being recorded in my bedroom? Does Lauren have recordings that I don't know about? Is she secretly recording my bedroom? What the f*** are you talking about?
Like, I think you should be able to record whenever.
But
obviously, you still have to tell people, like,
maybe
I have surveillance, like...
That person is, I don't know, who is this? Who is this person? Trust me, bro, no one is recording you. Oh, no. Oh, no. Destiny is getting recorded. Trust me, he's doing the recording. Xena, I have no idea who that is. Is that another Destiny Orbiter? Okay, going into Florida law. Interception or disclosure of wire, oral, or electronic communications prohibited, except as otherwise specifically provided in this chapter. Any person who intentionally intercepts, endeavors to intercept, or procures any other person to intercept or endeavor to intercept any wire, oral, or electronic communication, intentionally uses, endeavor to use, or procures any other person to endeavor to use any electronic, mechanical, or other device to intercept any oral communication when, hold on, let me see this. Okay, this isn't the right one. Fuck. Hold on, let me find exactly the statute. Yeah, you can't record someone in a home, private office, federal building or courthouse, airport security line, or any place where a person might have a legitimate and reasonable expectation of privacy. Which includes home, private offices, bathrooms, hotel rooms, gym locker rooms, rooms for nursing mothers. Bro, in his Reddit post, the selfishness of his community is backfiring on him. They got no pity for him. It's all about how dumb he was for fucking up something they had and enjoyed. The vultures found the newest target, and it's finally him. For now. Yeah, Florida is a two-party consent law. Sorry for the pause there.
Actually, like, what actually, like, got, like...
Okay, so she's dumb as fuck. That you can't record someone secretly in your bedroom. What are you talking about? A few hours later, I've messaged a mutual friend, Straighterade, who I knew to be particularly close with Pixie. Okay, so in other words, Destiny maliciously contacted a friend of his who he knew to be trusted by Pixie, I guess to manipulate Pixie? Straighterade is probably one of the biggest Destiny Orbiter Ghislaine Maxwell types in the entire country. Has she said anything about this? Has she condemned him yet? We tried to figure out the best way forward in terms of making things right, or as right as they could be for Pixie, and that conversation, which she now leaks. I'm surprised she told you, to be honest. She didn't respond to this, or did she delete it? No. If she responded, deleted, I did see, but I'm pretty sure she just didn't respond. She's not doing well. and she made all the wrong moves in response to this. I told her to do nothing and not reply to people. Do you see the scumness of these people in Destiny's community? As if a person who's in a severe emotional distress because revenge porn of them was sent to the goddamn internet, and then you're like, you didn't make the right moves. This is the most pick-me fucking behavior I've ever seen. What are you doing, man? I don't think she's done anything too bad or anything. Just like privating her stuff for a bit was fine. People have sent me stuff that she said to them in DMs. She's denying it in private and DMing people to stop talking about it because it's not her. Well, I mean, if it's helping her process stuff or whatever, it's okay, unless she's just blowing it up more or making it worse or something. She went into Spicy Chat and said their comments made her want to kill herself a few days ago. She had told me she would do it if her parents found out because I suggested reach out to family members that could be trusted to give her emotional support. But she's not really talking to people. Loner messaged me asking if I heard from her because she hasn't been messaging. Can you imagine taking all the private details you can find from a victim and taking it back to their victimizer to help him do damage control? I'm spying on their offline chat. They're asking Dan to tell Diddy G to come out and say he's a sex addict and that he's seeking therapy. It's whether or not he's a sex addict doesn't bear onto the fact that he's committing crimes. This is why Loaderbox quit, apparently. This is bad, yeah. Then I messaged her tonight and she's that's when she said she thinks that's what she needs to do. Well, fuck. I feel stupid going over there or asking her to hang out for obvious reasons. But I don't really know what else I could do or if I'm even a person she could offer support. I don't know how she views you. When she told me, I wonder if she'd tell you and ask you, if I should tell you and ask for help, but she sees you as an abuser, then it seems like that's the ultimate betrayal to do that. Same with telling her family if she's explicitly said she can't rely on them for support. Like, I'd rather have her pissed off at me for life but alive, but I also don't know how to intervene. She doesn't seem manic, but I have no training to really make that judgment. But a wellness check seems like it'll do fuck all because she'll just act normal and get them to go away, and they wouldn't comment her just on my word alone. I've told her similar things that you told her, and that she really needs to speak to her therapist about this. So in other words, Straighter Aid and Destiny are planning on concocting a reason to send police to her house. And she's basically taking... So Straighter Aid believes Pixie thinks Destiny's an abuser, and she's taking all the things she said in private right to Destiny. And Destiny publishes this. This is supposed to make them look good? This is basically evidence of a conspiracy to pressure the victims. And he's publishing it himself? Can someone who is a Destiny supporter explain to me, honestly, what you're getting out of him? He's not even entertaining, man. He's a mediocre man. He owns conservatards sometimes. Does he, though? Does he, though? I don't think conservatives are feeling very owned right now. His Discord is full of normal, funny people. It's just a way to talk to different people, to be honest. Normal. Later in a conversation with Straighter Age, she told me Pixie seemed to want me to cover her entire tuition for law school. Others told me that Pixie thought it would be appropriate for me to pay her anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million. At no point did Pixie make a specific or explicit request for financial compensation. I think sometimes on December 13, Pixie unfriended me on Discord. So, by the way, these are not demands from Pixie. These are Straighter Aid, the Destiny sweeping person, saying this. The Destiny is basically trying to take what amounts to hearsay or third-party telephone to try to make this argument. Oh, okay, here we go. Here's Straighter Aid taking screenshots of theirs and sharing them with Destiny. How are you feeling this morning? I feel better. I feel somber, but not suicidal. That's good. I'm sorry you're still somber, but it's an improvement. Did you reply to Steven? Yeah, we just got an argument back and forth and why I should kill myself. I haven't replied to his last message or asked him to cover my tuition. I don't think he would do that if I asked him. It's become clear that no amount that I agreed to was satisfactory by nature of the fact that I agreed to it. Third parties communicated that the point of any financial compensation would be to punish me. Do you think you should be punished? Do you think you should be punished? I mean, you're suing somebody else for leaking your shit. So you think that person should be punished civilly and criminal for leaking your shit, but you don't think you should be punished? I don't understand. Can someone who's a Destiny supporter square the circle for me? Destiny is saying he's suing and trying to pursue criminal charges of the person who leaked his shit, but yet he doesn't think he should be punished for habitually leaking multiple other women's shit recorded secretly and without consent? Can someone explain to me how you don't square that circle? I said, if she views you. Oh, you're right, Dice. You're right. You're right. It did said if she views you as an abuser. But don't you, I think the larger point I was trying to make, and thank you for the correction, is that Strader 8 is basically acting like Destiny's attorney or Destiny's emissary or Destiny's, you know, PR person, right? That seems pretty bad. That language is incredibly frustrating to hear secondhand. I already showed a willingness to make things right as best I could. I had spent some time talking to mutual friends of ours with the intent to help address concerns with their mental health and suicidal thoughts. The sincerity of which I genuinely believe. I was objectively harmed by this. Actually, what you were worried about is she would kill herself and it would hurt you because you would look bad. Let's be honest here. Like, the reason why Destiny was concerned about her suicidal thoughts was not out of care and concern for her, because look what he's doing. He's publishing all this shit to defend himself. He didn't care about her hurting herself. It was like, oh, if she kills herself in response to the leaks, I'll look really bad. I was objectively harmed by this situation. It was actively seeking to find a resolution that worked for everyone. You did the thing that caused the harm. But for you sending those images to a 19-year-old Discord kitten you were trying to fuck, there's no leaks. You were the proximate cause for all the other problems. It was you, Destiny. 100% you. But for you, none of this else happens. And you violated the law by publishing those leaks. Can we stop saying Discord kitten? Yeah, I mean, sorry about that. I'm just quoting Pixie. I'm not sure where Pixie got this idea that she needed to financially punish me. In this text message, Pixie reiterates that she doesn't want criminal penalties for me, just big financial ones. I mean, she could change her mind. Like, who cares? She's processing through this reality. The fundraiser hit 10K. Let's go, chat. Let's go. We've raised $5,000 for the legal fees. That's a nice little chunk of change. Well done. She's now over 10 grand. I hope other content creators cover it and she'll blast through 20K. But we did our part. 5K in the kitty already. And there was $1,000 dono. Let's fucking go. Whoever you are, anonymous giver, we love you. The only problem is number 3, because even with removal of the video, getting the guy hack charged, Steven has to face consequences. Man, Pixie, you should not trust Strader 8 and stop talking to her, because she was giving everything you said to her directly to Steven. And you should have known that. I believe in rehabilitation, but part of rehabilitation is penance. The person understands what they did is wrong, takes corrective course of action, and actions to help pay penance to the victims and do right by them. I just want to know that if Steven agrees with this and is willing to figure out what this means to both of us in a manner that it makes sense to both of us. I don't want to necessarily cause harm or suffering to Steven. I want him to know he will never do this again. I think that would be the most effective method of doing so. Or jail. But I do not want Steven to go through criminal court because, one, our justice system is horrible at getting people to change their behavior, and I feel like it would be overkill on my part. I don't agree. Also, like, I understand what Pixie is saying here, but there were a lot of other victims, you know, and that's not what criminal justice is for. Just as a philosophical point, I'm not saying that I know better than Pixie what she wants. I support Pixie 100% no matter what she wants to do. But I want to make an argument for the criminal justice system for a second here, which is it's not intended for victims to get what they want. It is about what society wants. And when somebody is running around sending revenge porn and sexually exploiting their fans and secretly recording people, that is an offense against all of us. It's an offense against society. And we have agreed upon punishments for it. That is the philosophy behind it. And I can tell you right now that if the shoe was on the other foot, Destiny would be pushing for maximum possible retributive punishment. And I feel like people should live according to the principles that they espouse as much as they can. Some of my most personal messages have gone out to the world because of what happened, including multiple incredibly explicit videos of mine, many of which have been forwarded to family members and colleagues. Information has come out which is irrevocably damaged by personal relationships. This saga has been a nightmare for all parties involved. Bro, you did it! This is you! You fucking did it, Destiny! You sent the videos! You're boo-hooing about the consequences to your own goddamn actions! Or accusation that I likely... Like, how many ellipses are you gonna use, dude? How many ellipses are you gonna use? She said just as likely. She didn't say it was likely. She said just as likely. That's not how you use quotes, you fucking scumbag. You changed the definition. She said she doesn't know whether you did it intentionally or unintentionally. She doesn't have the evidence. You fucking liar. Again, abusing quotes, abusing ellipses. What a scumbag. Again, is there anyone honest who thinks Destiny's in the right or like shouldn't be. Like anybody you see subscribe to Destiny at this point or a follower of Destiny is a fucking freak. I flat out cannot believe that anyone would think I intentionally leaked this material to the public. I increasingly felt uncomfortable by the language being used regarding to financial punishment and wanting to teach me a lesson, along with constant references to the precariousness of someone's mental health. It no longer felt productive to engage in these conversations. As is well documented at the start of this, I was completely willing to make things right with Pixie. So you're going to plead guilty? You're going to plead guilty? And you're going to let the court decide what the punishment is? You're going to plead guilty? You're going to go to prison? You're going to plead guilty when the criminal charges are filed? You're going to pay whatever the court demands you pay? At this point, I just tell people close to me that if Pixie wants to pursue legal actions against me, she's always free to do so, but I don't feel comfortable talking to her or about her until the very least my current legal actions have run their course. It has been brought to my attention that Pixie has now tried to re-add me as a friend, but I have ignored these requests. I've never told anyone what they can or cannot speak about, and I've always left the option open to them. Despite what some people have said, I've never threatened Pixie with litigation or NDA'd anyone. Okay, so he could just be lying here. If Destiny's telling the truth about NDAing, he should say, this is a public renunciation of all NDAs. If I have an NDA against you, I release you. This is a public release of all NDAs. Oh, I never NDA'd anyone. That wouldn't release you from the NDAs. What Destiny should say is, I release anybody who has an NDA with me to say whatever they want. My goal was to respect the wishes of the people who have been affected by the leak. Pixie has now stated intention to sue me and is fundraising for that. I do not believe I have violated any laws. And since... Wait a minute. You don't think you violated any laws? How's that? And since Pixie has made it clear what she wants to do, I will have to let the evidence and legal filings speak for themselves. It is unfortunate that it's come to this, but it all means that all communication with her or Lauren will have to be through counsel. Yeah, sending private nudes to third parties is bad. What do you want me to say? That's called publishing the nudes. Boys, at least Destiny is going to be fully featured in a Moist video. Do you guys think that's going to happen? You think Moist Critical is going to cover this? You think Elgato is, or Delgado, whatever the fuck is it? Not Elgato, Dexterdo. Elgato is not, Elgato doesn't cover this. Dexterdo, shit, sorry. Poor Elgato catching strays. I misspoke. Guys, I'm not seeing any stories on it. Guys, Theo Vaughn blames Jake and Logan Paul for embarrassing fall at inauguration. Guys, Spill Sesh's face reveal. It's so, why isn't this getting covered? I don't understand why it's not being covered. XQC tells Tommy Innit to lock in as feud escalates further. Wow. Thank you, Virginia. This is very important. They said some tweets toward each other. Very, very important. You should definitely, man. Hassan says he would work out with Joe Rogan, but doesn't think he'll ever go. Wow. Well, this is some breaking news. This is some breaking news. Hassan will gladly collaborate. Hassan accuses XQC of turning on him for easy clicks. Guys, Hassan accused XQC of turning on him. We've got to get ourselves a front page news story, guys. I'm sure many of you are like, Mike, they never covered Destiny and Dexterdo. Let's see if we can get any Destiny articles on Dexterdo. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Oh wait, they did cover it. It's just not on the front page. You can't find it. I found it. It's just not on the front page. It's not on the front page. I keep adding an extra T. It's Dex Airto. Did I say Dex Terto? Okay, whatever. Who gives a fuck? Destiny responds to allegations of illegally sharing women's private images. Wow. Well, anyway, chat. I couldn't find it. Where is it? It's not in any of the... Where is it? Did they bury it? They've got old 5-day-old articles under Kick. Huh? Where is it? Where is it? I had to search for it. Stealth published? Streamer Central Committee was banned from Twitch after his comments about Destiny. I was banned from Twitch, guys. I was banned from Twitch. Guys, I was banned. Guys, I was banned from Twitch. I was banned for 2 days. Honestly, chat, let's help them, get more clicks on this article, guys. Like, I don't, I want to help them out. Like, I don't want Dex Airto to miss out on the clicks. Like, they must have forgot to add it to their homepage, like, so let's help them out. We don't want them to miss out on the revenue, the ad revenue. I mean, guys, they needed to do a tweet about me getting banned for 2 days. Dexterdo Stealth published this article on their website, but it can't be found on the front page. There's no tweet on their social media. Destero, are you burying the story? Guys, where is it? Where is it? I couldn't find it. Now, when I got banned for 2 days, they did a tweet. Where it is? Talking about how if he recorded people without their consent, that would be evil. But like, dog, that's what I mean. That's literally what Cherry said happened. Our editors manage our coverage to ensure there's no conflict of interest while giving consideration to the type of content and produced by our research. Why is Dexterdo like burying the story? Dexterdo, what's going on, man? When I got banned for 2 days for a joke, you put out a tweet on that and it got 6,000 likes. Do you think I'm that popular? You were boosting that, and DGG was boosting that to the fucking moon. What's going on, man? I can't fight it under Destiny. Yeah, you guys need to like, you need to like get in the trenches and like seriously start posting this shit. Richard Lewis has been one of their main reporters that gives them the face of legitimacy with the gamer bros. Richard Lewis, isn't he the guy who was like really big into Gamergate? Dude, you just click entertainment, it's there on the front page. I literally did on stream. I mean, you know they're probably watching my stream, right? Like, I have 5,000 concurrent viewers. I'm probably like in the top 2 or 3 channels and just chatting. Like, they're watching my stream. If they react to what I'm saying, like, you should not be surprised. Okay, I'm the 4th most watched stream right now on just chatting, like in the English, like you know, they're paying attention. I'm right there. So if something changes, that's good. Oh, there it is. Did they oh, well, I'm glad to see it's getting some views now. That's good. But it's still not on their front page, by the way. The Diablo 4 directory guy, quick links to our tips and guides. Pokimane video from 23 hours ago. Mr. Beast, when did TikTok come back? And so the things I said about it being buried is still true. It's not on their front page, and there's no Dexterdo post on their social media. Guys, Theo Von fell down. All right, let's keep going. Let's finish this fucking trash. It was always in the entertainment section. It's not on the front page, though. Yes. Oh, maybe I scrolled past it. The Theo Von fell down. His story is very important. Destiny is friends with one of the editors so it makes sense. I'm so sick of seeing how he's trying to bury this and the boys club is helping him, like how there's no Dexterdo tweet about this. Yeah, that's very true. Casey's right. It's not on the homepage filtered by Kick. So weird. Why is this being covered up? It's so odd. I don't understand. All right, let's see what Hassan said.
I didn't understand it at the time when like everyone was talking about how like whether he sucked Nicholas Fuentes' or not. But like what I was always shocked by is the fact that he had sent someone that he was trying to have sex with, a 19-year-old, numerous videos of him having sex with other people. Destiny Stephen Kenneth Bonnell II is accused of illegally sharing revenge porn and is being sued by one of his victims. Yeah. I didn't understand it at the time when like everyone was talking about how like whether he sucked Nicholas Fuentes' or not. But like what I was always shocked by is the fact that he had sent someone that he was trying to have sex with, a 19-year-old, numerous videos of him having sex with other people. And only after I saw Melina, his ex-wife, talk about how he did not give Destiny consent to share the footage of them having sex with other people, did I realize that this was actually a lot worse than the speculation of whether or not he had sucked a Nazi's penis or not, and that he was inappropriately sharing sexual material that he had filmed with other people, with random people, which is illegal. Literally. You seem to have more knowledge regarding Twitter streamer than the U.S. government. If you think I have more knowledgeable over this than the U.S. government, you have not been paying attention. He said valid. At least he recognizes it. How is this guy allowed to walk the streets? Because bad people do not get punished, especially if they're shameless. There it is. That's the response. Okay? I mean, look around. Donald Trump is president right now. How do you think that happened? That's it. Especially if you develop a community, of like rabid sycophants who are not there for any sort of like political movement or anything like that, and simply just revolve around your day-to-day existence and will fight for your battles without even thinking about their own, without thinking about, you know, what these actions look like or if they're good or bad. And especially if you have a relatively decent and sophisticated media operation where you constantly are pumping videos of you.
Is this the bot channel? Did anyone else publish this? The problem, and I hate to say this to the Hassan Industrial Complex, is the bot channel is easier to find. Like, what's going on? Like, why aren't your clips, the non-bot channels are like where are you? Did anyone make a clip of this?
Dunking on literally the dumbest PUA guys on the planet, you can kind of get away with that for a very long time, as he has, especially when your core base of support that are knowledgeable on all of the ridiculous and awful and cruel shit that you do don't actually care because they like the chaos.
Oh boy. All right. There was one other thing I definitely would. Oh yeah, let's talk about. Let's look at our little boy XQC.
Good. TLDR. The claim is that he sent nudes to X random person without her knowledge. X then got hacked. A hacker leaks it. Oh. Yeah. I wonder how that works. That's kind of shit behavior though. That's absolutely cooked. If allegedly true that you send to somebody pictures of somebody else, that's absolutely boiled. Yeah, that's not okay. That's disgusting. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse. I'm sorry, there's no excuse. If you get hacked, it's a different thing. But if you send it willingly and then they get hacked, you're still liable. Like, it's still your fault. He admits that he showed somebody else. Oh yeah, then cooked. Then he's cooked. Then cooked man destiny. Cooked.
Elon!
If true.
How you? Wow, he doesn't seem very angry.
Yeah. I guess legally, I guess not morally. Morally, I would say this is cooked and stupid. Yeah, it's kind of scumbag. It's scumbag. It's disgusting.
XQC.
I think legally, if it's a private message and somebody hacks, I think that's like
Lawyer XQC. Well, thank you for your legal definitions. Except that's not it. I already showed you. The definition of publish is to send to another person by any means. He published it by sending it to a non-privileged person for no legal purpose.
You reactivated. And I can just as easily have you deactivated. Which you will.
Okay, what the fuck is he posting to me? Me making jerk-off motion. Inappropriate timing.
I don't know how that would work legally. I don't know how it works out. It's scumbag behavior, though. Oh, wow.
So he's wrong. When you secretly record someone and send it to someone else, that's illegal. The hacker also committed a crime by hacking into somebody's shit, but that's a separate crime. Like, more than one crime can be committed around similar shit. Like, I'll give you an example that maybe you guys in Destiny's community can understand. If somebody makes child porn, that's a crime. If someone else that shares a video of that child porn, that's also a crime. Those are separate crimes around the same thing. So if somebody secretly records someone having sex, that's a crime. And if they share that to a third party without their consent, that's a crime. All right. Who else did I think there was one other clip I really wanted to take a look at. All right. Sorry, chat. I was looking for other clips. There was I tweeted earlier about how Destiny banned a bunch of his orbiters for talking about it, and I was looking for the clip of them talking about it. Does anybody have the clip of them talking, like Destiny's orbiters talking about it? I don't seem to have it. Let me check and see if it's on my Twitter. Hold on. I thought I had it pulled up, but apparently not. Don't you just hate? You're seeing how the sausage is made. Yeah, I don't have it. Damn. Fuck, I thought I did.
Bro, this guy is dying in front of our eyes, bro. What are you talking about?
I'm watching him die, and I'm watching you guys punch him as he's dying. I'm like, okay, why are you guys adding all these extra punches? Just let the nigga die.
No, we're not.
Say what you need to say.
Yeah. No, we're not. We're not.
Yes,
we are.
Okay.
We're saying we're sticking to the primary.
By the way, chat, this is kind of the average DGG kind of like extended universe. If you're wondering what that sounds like, that's not quite.
Destiny was dehumanizing Pixie, you retard! You right here, you dumb shit! Shut the fuck up!
I don't think that's the clip I was looking for, but yeah. They're like, oh, just be quiet, let him die, which they know is a explicit strategy of letting this cool off and seeing if he can slink back. Like, that's what the strategy they're going for. So if you're one of those people who thinks, oh, I'll just sit back and everything will work itself out, you're lying to yourself. The only way this is going to get fixed is if there is actual consequences. Dan Saltzman, Destiny's co-host, downplaying and sweeping for Destiny.
Fucking help me.
Or anything.
You guys are like forcing me to fucking sweep for Steve. Listen.
Well, no, do it. Go for it. Like
You seem forced to do this frequently.
Okay. First of all, okay, I would say that I'm pretty confident that everyone who was featured in these videos also sent videos of them and other people as well. But nobody talks about that.
So Dan Saltzman is doing damage control for Destiny by saying, yeah, he committed that crime, but didn't other people commit crimes? Your ladies and gentlemen of the jury, yes, my client did murder that man in cold blood, and the evidence is irrefutable. The witnesses, their credibility ironclad. The physical and scientific evidence incredibly damning. And my client's written confession very clear. However, have you considered other people have done murders and gotten away with it? So wouldn't it be a little hypocritical of you to punish my client for the crime that he is very guilty of? Consider this. I rest my case, Don Saltzman, Esquire. I'm sorry, Dan Saltzman. Didn't Dan run a CSAM distribution platform that P. Diddy invested in? Yeah, he was in Tiny Chat. He was like a co-owner of Tiny Chat. And I think one of his investors was Diddy. That is true. And it was a notorious hangout for pedophiles. All right, chat. Well, we've raised a little over $5,000 during the stream for the legal fees. I hope other people cover this. And I hope she hits her goal by the end of today. If not, we're going to keep pushing. He was so proud of himself for that defense afterwards. Yeah, he's not very bright. He's not a bright man. But you have to understand, for Dan Saltzman, nothing is that Destiny could ever do is wrong. And anything he accuses you of is projection. But Dan, I just have one thing to say to you.
Hey, you know they got your mans. They got your mans on sex assault charges. Yeah, the nigga you be hanging with. The nigga you be hanging with. Oh, yeah, sex offender. And he was your mans. He was your boy. I heard you grew up with him. That's crazy, man. You ain't know what he was doing? You ain't feel bad at all? Like no guilt, none of that shit. Hey, you know they got your man.
He doesn't have those feelings. Those are what normal people, those are the feelings that normal people have. All right, well, I feel like I've covered this pretty extensively, chat. I think we're all on the same page on this, which is Destiny is super guilty. If Pixie sees any of these reactions, I mean, if you want to reach out, totally cool. I had nothing to do with any of this up until this point. I'm going to so anyway, what was I saying? Just to close off the Destiny thing. I think that I want to encourage victims to come forward. This community is going to do everything we can to support those victims. I would like, based on what I know and the legal training, it's been 10 years since I'm sorry, 12 years since I left finished law school. So I'm not a lawyer. However, I would say if it was happening to someone that I knew or trusted me, I would tell them to press charges. I would file criminal complaints. And I would urge as many women as possible to come forward and file criminal complaints. And as more documents come out, we will do more coverage. Like when if we get copy of a demand letter being sent to Steven or Destiny, we'll cover that. If there are pleadings that are filed, we're gonna cover those. If there is a police report or a mugshot or anything like that, we're gonna be covering that. We're going to be covering this every step of the way. So I want to let you know, I pledge to you guys that we're going to be covering this every step of the way. And, I'm not going to let 2 weeks of a content break delete sex crimes, okay?